The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Mel Kiper Jr. has given his grade for the New York Jets draft class. We'll talk with Jets insider Antwan Staley whether or not he agrees with Kiper's assessment, plus the latest on the Jets following the 2026 NFL Draft. It is the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Jets, let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show. Show number 2 on the day. If you missed our first one earlier, Frankie B from U Stadium took his victory lap over David Bailey going to the New York Jets. That and much more is what we discussed, so check that out. And, of course, if you're new around here, click the like button and subscribe to our channel. We are presented by PrizePicks. Programming note, tonight from 7 to 9 Eastern, you could tune into ESPN New York, and you'll hear yours truly talking all things NFL Draft, the Mets debacle, the latest with the Yankees, and, of course, the New York Knicks, who will play a pivotal Game 5 tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden against the Hawks. So 7 to 9 tonight. Tune in, and you can listen in on the ESPN New York app or 880 a.m. With that, we say hello to a good friend of the show. He covers the New York Jets for the New York Daily News. It's our friend, Antoine Staley. Antoine, before we talk Jets, what the heck is up with your baseball team? Thank you for firing Alex Cora. He is a phenomenal manager, and I am thrilled that he is leaving the American League East.
I mean, they have bigger issues than that. I mean, until they get rid of Breslow, I don't think it really matters. I mean, it's just a complete mess. Like, they're very dysfunctional right now. I mean, I thought this team wouldn't do very well to begin with because, I mean, you let go Bretman and you really didn't replace him with as far as offensive firepower. And you know, the pitching is coming unglued, like everything. It just seems like a big, colossal mess right now with the Red Sox.
Yep, the Red Sox are a mess. The Mets are a mess. If I'm the Mets, I would
Phillies
get rid of Carlos Mendoza. Phillies
crazy
as well. I'd hire Alex Cora in a second if I'm the Mets. If not, the Phillies certainly might with Dave Dombrowski being there. But
yeah.
I digress. As far as the team that you cover and the team that I talk about every single day on this channel, before I play you the clip of Mel Kiper breaking down the Jets and get your thoughts on that, big picture, give me your thoughts on the Jets weekend here. How should the Jet fan be feeling following the 2026 NFL Draft?
Optimistic, because I think they hit on a lot of different needs there. Whether you wanted Reese or Bailey, whatever, you know, which flavor of the month you wanted, they did address, you know, getting a pass rusher there. We'll see if Bailey can, you know, produce as a run stopper as well as obviously him being a really good pass, you know, getting pressure on the quarterback and, you know, sack artist there too as well. Sadiq was really like a luxury pick, but, you know, you can line him up all over the place too, put him in the slide, just put him as a inline tight end too. Well, great blocker. So I knew they were interested in him. I just didn't think they would take him at 16. I thought they would take a receiver like a Malachi Lemon or somebody like that. But also to go and get Omar Cooper Jr. Late in the first round. Also really smart too, because now you surround Garrett Wilson and Geno Smith with a lot more weapons than what you had last year when, you know, they were getting blown out by 23 points or more in the last 5 games too as well. And, you know, I like Pons too, like the second-day pick. They only had one second-day pick, but Pons is a good slot corner too. I think he fits all of just kind of the guys they already have, and Brandon Stevens there and A.Z. Thomas. And on day 3 too as well, like you hit on a few picks too as well. I think, you know, everybody was kind of confused about the club didn't pick. That was probably the misstep that I had in regards to that. But you knew they were going to take a quarterback at some point. But getting Darryl Jackson, I think, really solidifies their run defense, too. It seems like they're really trying to improve in that area. And Cooper, too, as well. I think getting some depth on the offensive line. Because let's face it, the offensive line started off – they had all five starters starting the offensive line for all 17 games. That's probably unlikely to happen again. So to be able to get a guy like that could really help you just in case the injuries occur, I think it was a good move.
What was your favorite pick that the Jets made?
I probably the Pons pick. I think Pons is really going to come in. Like, he was one of the best quarterbacks in college football last year, especially considering how small he is. Really scrappy guy, physical too as well. Can really loves that violence, especially in the run game too as well. So yeah, that's my favorite pick out of all of them, because even though he's a second round pick, I think he's going to play a lot early on for the Jets, and I think he's going to be very productive too as well.
What do you think of the fact, I know you wrote a story on this, I was reading it before, that the Jets seemingly really valued guys that came from winning programs? And not even just that. I thought it was a notable line from Glenn over the weekend when he talked about how each of the players they picked early had moments in the college season where they, quote, took over a game, like won a game for their team. I mean, Pons is an incredible example of that. He was the defensive MVP of 2 of their playoff wins. But just your thoughts on those comments there from the head coach.
Well, I think, you want guys, especially, there's a lot of pressure on Glenn this upcoming year, especially after finishing 3-14. So you want players that can come in and produce right away. And I feel like they've got at least 4 guys initially that can go out and do that, because you needed to find 4 starters, or at least 4 guys that's going to come in, produce and play well early on. And, I think they did that. Obviously, Bailey coming over from Stanford to Texas Tech last year and, being part of their college football playoff run was big, really the catalyst of them having one of the best defenses in the nation. Sadiq, Oregon has had a lot of success the last couple of years too, making the college football playoff, and he's been a part of that too as well. And then Indiana, just what they've done. Like, I think especially what Indiana's done. They were a team that was a doormat for years. And then you get Kurt Shadetti, and then you get some players that came over from JMU, and, he built that program, sort of what Aaron Glenn is trying to do with the Jets too as well. Obviously, building a team that's been traditionally losing. So to add guys like that to a program and trying to find that similar type of success and that secret sauce, I don't think it's a bad idea at all.
Which pick will ultimately define the draft class?
Oh, it's Bailey. Bailey, definitely, for sure. Like, because especially now when you got Arvell Reese playing with the Giants, that's what everybody going to pit those guys up against each other for the end of time, long as those guys stay in the New York, New Jersey areas. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be David Bailey, too, as well. You picked him because he was a productive player. So now he needs to come in and produce, especially for a Jets team that, was second fewest in sacks last year to the 49ers. So they need a guy like Bailey to come in and step up instantly there, along with Will McDonald and the rest of the team.
Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Antoine Staley from the Daily News is our guest here on the show. We have our mega raffle at the end of the stream today, folks. This is like one of the first times we've ever given away 6 signed Jets items in a single show. End of our show today, we raffle away a Joe Namath signed helmet, Nick Mangold signed helmet, Darrelle Revis signed helmet, Garrett Wilson signed helmet, and a Mason Taylor signed helmet. And for anyone who specifically enters during this stream alone, you're entered in a separate raffle for a signed Wayne Chrebet jersey. So we've been keeping track of all the entries throughout draft weekend. We got 5 signed items in the weekly raffle and a Wayne Chrebet signed jersey for anyone who enters during this show. Big thank you to everyone who tuned in to our draft coverage all weekend long. We would not be able to go to the draft and the Combine and the Senior Bowl and Super Bowl Radio Row without your incredible support day in, day out. All right, I mentioned Mel Kiper Jr. Going to play you his feedback on the New York Jets. You tell me if you agree or disagree with the god of the draft, the OG of draft grades, Mel Kiper, Professor Kiper on ESPN New York this morning, asked specifically about the Jets.
Did the Jets make the right move taking Bailey over Reese? And overall, how do you think the Jets did in this draft?
Well, it depends upon how you look at the top part. I would have gone Reese. I had him more highly rated. I like Mekhi Lemon a lot, but I understand getting Sadiq, and they were able to get Omar Cooper Jr., who's kind of similar to Lemon. Not as good, but similar. So the Reese thing was, and the Bailey was a debate we had. It went on for months and months and months. Everybody mocked Bailey, but how do you rank them? And I had Bailey Reese because of the versatility, the off-ball or edge. But I get it, and we talked about this, that Bailey was the better pass rusher now, and he could have more of an immediate impact now when they have to win some football games. So we knew that was going to come down to the ability to step right in and not have to learn. That's what Arvell Reese said, I have to learn how to rush the passer. So they had a work in progress for a 20-year-old as opposed to a 22-year-old, 2 full years difference between Reese and Bailey, which I like for Reese because he's so young and he's just developing. And you can imagine how scary potential he has. But I get it. So get Bailey and then a weapon like Sadiq, and then get a guy like Cooper Jr., who I wasn't as high on as some, but he was 35 on my board. It wasn't 85. So, no, I had no issue that I think it was an A+. No, because you have to go by your ratings. But it was certainly a solid first round when you get 3 players of that caliber.
His official grade, Antoine, on the ESPN.com website was an A-. So the comments make you believe he wasn't necessarily in love with the draft, but Mel ultimately gave the Jets and the Jets alone an A-. Here were the teams that got A's on the Mel Kiper report card: Cleveland, Dallas, the Raiders, and the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Jets with an A-. The teams that got B+s were the Baltimore Ravens, the Indianapolis Colts, and the New York Football Giants, and a plethora of teams got B grades. But the Jets all by themselves with an A-. Is Kiper's analysis there, in your opinion, fair?
I had B+, but yeah, like that's kind of in line with what I was thinking too as well. Like again, like I just about like everything, single thing that they did, minus the Klubnik pick too as well. But yeah, outside of that, I like every single thing they've done. They addressed the needs they had. Again, like I might have done a few things differently. Like I might have taken Mekhi Lemon over Cooper, but at the same time, like they decided they want to go Sadiq too as well. So it's not necessarily a bad thing as well too. But also in my mock drafts, I always had them kind of doubling up, double dipping, taking a wide receiver. So they kind of essentially did that with, Sadiq and then Cooper. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing at all. So yeah, I love what they did. So I gave him a B+, A-, kind of in the same ballpark too as well.
Why a B+ and not an A-? Is it all because of the Klubnik pick?
Yes. Yes. Because I did not only that you drafted him, but you traded up to draft him. Like, so I didn't know necessarily you needed to trade up to draft him. So that was like kind of head scratching.
Let's go more in depth on that pick, because I'm with you. I don't even hate the player they picked, because I just look at all these day 3 quarterbacks as, a total crapshoot. But I am surprised they traded up for him, because I felt like if you liked him so much, just take him at 103 and then keep your 2 4th-round picks, or take Darrell Jackson at 103 and just wait till 128 and take him there. I didn't think they needed to trade up. Your thoughts on just that whole process of trading up and then the pick in general?
Yeah, it was still other quarterbacks on the board too as well. So, but I know they really liked them. They worked them out in Clemson too as well. And, Klubnik has some, he has some talent too as well. I mean, a lot of people thought he might be a potential 1st-round pick. I never really saw it when he was at Clemson, but, a lot of people thought he, could eventually figure in sort of the quarterback sweepstakes entering the 2025 season. Obviously, a lot of things happened. Clemson was not very good. He was not very good too as well. They talked about him battling injuries too as well. But, I will say this, like getting a guy like that and just kind of grooming him for a year and see how things may go. It can't go much worse than what we saw out there with Brady Cook. So, or at least I don't think it can. So put it that way. So I think a guy like Klubnik was one of the most talented high school players coming out when he did. So maybe he can, get in a better situation with the Jets and, develop there and maybe be, at least a decent backup down the line.
What do you think his role will be from the jump? Are they going to bring in another veteran? Is Klubnik going to get a real chance to be QB2? Your thoughts on his role?
I think they're going to look and see if they can find another veteran, because obviously after the draft, like you're going to see some players get released too, just simply because of the numbers game on some people's rosters too as well. And maybe, they want to go somewhere differently, or maybe they address that particular player or younger player in the draft too. So yeah, I think you're going to see some veterans get released, and depending on who that is, I think the Jets might be interested in bringing in one of those guys in to compete for that QB2 job too as well. So in addition to having, Brady Cook and obviously, Klubnik, and, you have Bailey Zappi also still on the roster too as well.
I would just let Klubnik compete with Zappi for QB2. I don't even need a veteran. Like if Geno goes down or he's not effective, I'd rather just see what Cade Klubnik can do. And if he's not any good, all right, I'd rather get the better draft pick at the end of the year anyway.
That's not a bad idea. I think they could do that, but also I think it also depends on who might be available too as well. So if it's a quality veteran that's had some starts in the league, I think they would go ahead and address it there and add that veteran onto the roster as opposed to maybe if it's a younger guy there that maybe had 1 or 2 starts, they probably wouldn't. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like you kind of need to, if Geno goes down, things are going to hit the fan anyway. So you might as well just kind of see what you have in covenant just before, if it's any, glimmer of him possibly being that quarterback of the future. At least you want to see it. I don't think it is, but you never know until he goes out there and actually plays and, goes out there against the live bullets.
Who's the quarterback that you think could become available that they could add?
You kind of put me on the spot here. I don't know. I don't know. That's a very good question, though. But
Will Levis, did the Titans draft someone over the weekend? I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, Will Levis has always been talked about, too, potentially being a guy that's available, possibly released. So I'm not the biggest Will Levis fan, but maybe that would be something the Jets would be interested in.
So it's funny. The Titans depth chart is Trubisky, Levis, Hendon Hooker.
Yes, so one of those guys is going to be the odd man out. Well, the Jets had Hendon Hooker in there briefly last year, so I don't know if they necessarily want to go back to that route. But yeah, that gives you some options.
Tyrod's still out there. Cooper Rush is out there. Again, I'd keep Cade Klubnik. Why not? Let's see what you got. He started 40 games in college.
I could see Tyrod Taylor potentially coming back too as well, but it goes back to your point too. We already know what Tyrod is, especially this juncture his career there. He's had trouble staying healthy basically his entire career. So why not just have Klubnik play just in case something does happen to Geno?
In terms of the decision to trade the 2 forwards, if they did that for a different quarterback, would you have been more on board with it? Just give me your thoughts on the other options at quarterback if they were going to go and take someone on day 3 to get into that room.
I don't at that juncture, I don't know. I don't know if you would. I don't know if I would have traded up to go get anybody, to be quite honest with you. I was not a big fan of the quarterback class. I know they like Carson Beck, but obviously he was off the board at that point too as well. So you're talking about Green from Arkansas, the guy from North Dakota State too as well, in addition to Klubnik as well. So yeah, those kind of the guys that you're thinking about in that target range too as well. But yeah, I don't know if I would have traded up to go get anybody at the quarterback position, put it that way, because I still felt like it was some talented players at other spots that could also help you outside of just the quarterback.
Antwan Staley from the Daily News is my guest. If you guys have a question, make sure you write it in. Shout out to Fallon Family Gaming, the first to enter our Wayne Crabette jersey raffle at the end of the show for 1+. Fallon Family Gaming will be in the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's go.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Sounds like Frank Reich had a lot to do with several of these picks. Most notably, the clip you just saw there is their call to Kenyon Sadiq, who obviously will play a big role in this offense. How involved do you believe Reich has been throughout this draft process? And now that they have Sadiq, let's start with him. How can Frank Reich design an offense that can incorporate what he does?
Oh, well, Sadiq, he could do it all. He's a guy that's a willing blocker. That's probably the most fascinating thing with me, because you typically find tight ends, especially in college, they're good, inline receivers, but they're not traditionally great blockers, at least not the way that Sadiq is. So I think that's kind of very intriguing there. And then also, again, you can line up the slot. You can line up as an inline tight end. You could do a lot of different things. You can put him at the outside position too if you really wanted to, because he has enough speed that can give defensive backs and cornerbacks and linebacker anybody trouble, on the defensive side of the ball. So it gives you a lot of versatility there. Heck, if you wanted to put him in the backfield at times, there, kind of just do an H-back type of role, you could do that too as well, especially having with Mason Taylor also there too. So I expect them to use a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, especially with Jeremy Rucker there too as well, who they also re-signed late last year. So it gives them a lot of different options too as well. But to answer your question, yeah, Frank Reich had a lot to do with some of these draft picks. Sadiq, also Cade Klubnik too as well, somebody he also really liked as well. So yeah, he was definitely a big influence in that draft room.
It's amazing why, or amazing how myself and many Jet fans feel like in real time, oh no, are we really going to be the team that's going to take, the tight end over some of the top receivers that were there? Mekhi Lemon was there. Omar Cooper had been mocked to the Jets at 16 a lot. But once they made the trade back in to get Cooper, then I think we're all really excited about Sadiq, because there's less pressure on him having to be the number 2 pass catcher in this offense, because you did address it. You still have A.D. Mitchell. You still have Mason Taylor. The room just looks a whole lot better after they made the addition to go up and get Cooper. I thought that was the best GMing move, if you will, that Muji made over the course of the weekend.
Correct. Like, yeah, like I feel like they had to kind of double dip at receiver, so to speak. Like whether you talk about getting Sadiq and, tight end, wide receiver, two wide receivers, whatever the case be. Because this team, I mean, we talked about it before. I think the last time I was on, I mean, to have Garrett Wilson lead the team in receiving yards and he missed 10 games. I mean, that says a lot about how putrid the Jets offense was last year. So now you look at least on paper, it was a lot better. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to win like 10 games or whatever the case may be, but I think it's going to be a much more explosive offense than what you saw last year, especially towards the end of the season.
No doubt about that. Couple minutes left with Antwan Staley. Diana Rossini's watching the show, Antoine, and she writes in rave reviews from around the league on the Jets draft per source. Are you hearing the same thing from your sources that the Jets draft is getting rave reviews?
Oh, yeah. Like, I haven't heard anybody say they had a bad draft outside of the fans. Some fans have like been kind of fickle because, that's kind of how fans are. But, just talking to scouts and other reporters around the league, they like what the Jets have done. Obviously, it's going to come down to wins and losses and the production on the field. But, I think ultimately they're a fan of what they did, especially on the offensive side of the ball, getting Sadiq, getting Cooper. I like Pons. Obviously, we talked about Bailey there, too, as well. And even on day 3, I thought they did some good things, too, as well.
I mean, the safety they got with their final pick in the 7th round, all I needed to see is the fact his last name is Payne. Like, that's the perfect safety name.
He's a hard hitter, too, as well. Somebody that can also loves attacking run defense, too, as well. So it seems like it's been kind of like a common theme with some of these picks, too. It's like really tough, resilient guys that love to get their nose dirty, too. And I think BJ Payne is also one of those guys that loves to do that, too, as well.
Now, you're a guy who follows the ACC and the Miami football program closely. So tell me about Inez Cooper.
Captain of the team, one of the best offensive linemen against, and then along with Maluga last year, really helped anchor that Miami offense and the offensive line to, get to the college football national championship before losing to Indiana. But, really propelled into a leadership role during his time in Miami. Started out as a defensive tackle, believe it or not, in high school. And then, I actually asked him about that when we spoke to him on Saturday. And he just said, I was tired of getting chop blocked, at the knees. So I figured, let's go be an offensive lineman instead. And Mario Cristobal was like, okay, I'm down for it. And he ended up turning into one of the best guards in the ACC.
All right. When you look at where the Jets are now as a team, have they increased their win total in your mind from what you thought about them before the draft?
Yeah, maybe about maybe 1 or 2 games. Like I thought they might have been like a 5, maybe 6 win team, and maybe I think they're now like a 6 or 7 win team potentially. Assuming that Geno Smith can play better than what he did with the Raiders, which I think he can. I think he was in a bad situation for a variety of different reasons. Some of it his fault, some of it not his fault. But I think he has a better offensive line and supporting cast around him than he did with Vegas last year. So if he can play better, offensive line can stay healthy. Brees has a really good year. I'm not sitting here saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to give some teams trouble too. And I feel like, I think they did a lot defensively wise that they kind of shore up some key areas too, including that run defense.
All right. I want to just quickly hit each pick and just kind of get your general thoughts on what fair expectations will be for each of them. Obviously, we'll start with the number 2 pick in the draft and David Bailey. Part of the reason the Jets seemingly drafted him is, well, he's more ready to rush the passer right away. There's not a projection. You know what you're getting. You line him up, on the outside and let him do his thing. So what is a fair expectation now for the number 2 pick in the draft?
I really say like 8 sacks. Like I think he can get you 8 sacks this year, and I think that would be a good productive first year for Bailey. In addition to having Will McDonald on the other side, they both can get you 8+ sacks. I think you're in good shape.
All right, let's keep rolling. Kenyon Sadiq.
I would say like 50 catches, 750 yards too. I think that would be and 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think that'd be a good solid year.
4 or 5 touchdowns on the field. I hope a lot, kind of taking attention away from other guys, maybe opening things up for Garrett. I can see that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Omar Cooper Jr.
55, 60 catches. I think probably like 5 touchdowns too as well. He's a good yak guy. So I think I think you definitely need that too. Somebody that can take some pressure off of Garrett Wilson. And also, you can do a lot of different things now with Garrett and having Sadiq too on the roster too. You can put him in the slot a little bit more if you really wanted to. So yeah, having a guy like that on the outside that can, somebody that's really tough and loves to get those contested passes like Cooper does. yeah, I think he can have a really solid year too as well.
All right, rapid fire. We keep going through the class here before we wrap. D'Angelo Pond, I'm so pumped to see what he could do.
2 interceptions. Like, let's go 2 interceptions, like 10 pass breakups. Solid guy in the slot, especially run defense too as well. I guess you want to talk about tackles, 40 to 45 tackles.
I think it would be incredible if week 1, he's the guy that gets the interception that ends the drought.
Yeah, I mean, he's the people compare him to Aaron Glenn, so that would be kind of poetic.
Let's go back and look whenever Aaron Glenn got his first pick, his rookie year. What game was it? Because I don't remember. Gonna have to check that out. That'd be a good story.
I will too. Yeah, I have to look that up too. I don't know the top of my head. I'm sure Rich does, but
Let me text him.
I do not.
Darrell Jackson Jr.
Like 2 sacks, but I think he's going to be a really good run defender too as well. And I think that's why you got him. I mean, he's 6'5", 315. You want somebody in the middle that kind of plug in holes too, and then also be a good rotational player, especially with the guys you already have, and Sweat too as well. Of course, Harris and Phillips, and of course Briggs too as well. So you can all have those guys rotating there. He gets you a couple of sacks, but I think he's going to make his meat and potato. He's going to make his he's going to do his thing really on the run defensive end.
Cade Klubnik.
Well, you hope he doesn't have to play at all. But if he does have to play, he could just be a good, stable backup too, like at least. So, yeah, the hope is he doesn't have to play at all. But it is the Jets, so he probably is going to play like at least a game or so.
I mean, the reality is every time it's like, this guy's not going to see the field. Every Jet quarterback always ends up seeing the field. I mean, Brady Cook played 5 games this past year. So, look, I'd love for Geno to ball out, but whether Geno gets injured or the Jets are out of it and they want to see what Klubnik has down the stretch, he's going to play. My guess is he starts at least 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, I could see that too. But, yeah, you don't want him playing, but you kind of said that with Brady Cook too last year. I don't know. I never thought he would play, and then obviously that was not the case. But, yeah, I definitely see him playing a game or 2.
All right, 2 left. Inez Cooper.
He had no sacks, and he did not allow a sack in all at the ACC last year. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play probably a handful of games because, again, like they just had so great luck on the offensive line last year. That's probably unlikely to happen again. But to have a guy like that and Cooper that can go play guard there, you can move. Like if something happens to Myers, you can move Tippmann to center, or you can do a lot of different things too as well. And I think Cooper can play either side of the ball. So I think he's going to play 5 games and be effective. Last
but certainly not least, the guy with the coolest name in the Jet Drive class, VJ Payne.
Rotational guy. Don't expect a whole lot there, but I think he will see the field for a little bit too as well. But I don't expect a whole lot from him, but he does give you some, depth there at the safety position, something they did not have a year ago.
All right, fun last question for you. Which Jet rookie has the best chance to win either defensive or offensive rookie of the year?
I'm going to go Sadiq. I'm going to go Sadiq too as well. I think he can get the numbers there. If he can get, a little bit more than 5 touchdowns there, if he can get you 60 catches somehow, I think he'll be, I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I think he'll be in the midst there for rookie of the year too, offensively, because I think he can do a whole lot on the field. And I'm curious to see what Frank Wright, kind of schemes up from him, like field wise. But yeah, I think he's the guy I'm kind of looking at.
Oh, that'd be incredible. I hope you're right, Antoine. That'd be fun. I know rookie minicamp is not this weekend, but the following weekend. So you guys will get a chance to watch these guys put on, the Jet uniform, so to speak, and run around against air. So that will be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this draft class plays out. I told you this off air. I mean, at OTAs, it's going to be a lot more fun because when they're not wearing pads, like you're not really seeing much from an offensive tackle that they've drafted the last couple of years. But Sadiq against air, Cooper against air, they're going to make plays. They're going to be fun.
And they got a lot of fun guys that are very intriguing this year too. So yeah, I mean, all across the board, when you talk about Bailey or Cooper or Sadiq or Pons, like who I really like too, or even the 3 guys like Jackson, Cooper too as well. So yeah, I think they have a lot of intriguing stories and a lot of guys that you're really going to want to pay attention to.
Love it, Antoine. You are the best, man. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Jake, thank you.
Antoine Staley from the New York Daily News, our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, phone lines are open. If you want in on the conversation, we'll take plenty of your calls. I'm hosting on the radio tonight from 7 to 9 on ESPN New York, so please call in to the radio show as well. Got some great guests that will be joining me there. I'm going to be joined by CP the Franchise talking Knicks. And we'll talk about the disgrace that is the Mets with my friend Sal Licata, who will be popping on with me at 8 tonight. And we got CP at 8:30. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to stop the show and acknowledge greatness when it hits you in the face like it just did. Cisco Lopez. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 50 gifted memberships on the final show before our weekly raffle. Cisco just made 50 of you Asmaniac channel members. Let's go. Let's go. I'm grabbing my umbrella because it's raining memberships, baby. Let's go. If you hear your name called, you thank Cisco Lopez for making you a channel member. Nick Russo, Tom Stokes, Ryder Talons, PA, Ja the Ruler, JJ Vittori, BC Niao, Theo Gorman, Surgeon J Yukon, Good Guy Greg, Peter York, HXC Dude, Terrell's a Jet fan, Gary doesn't support women, Mendoza Zan, Big Fella is Big, Ryan DeRosa, Beautiful Karski, Charles Gorman farted, I believe, Justin 4 Ocho, Rico, Fathead 91, and Jets, Dixon Cider, Chef Kevin is the man, Joe Bonesy, brother of Mr. Bonesy, Ryan Moss, Aaron D-Line, Troy Hansen. I got more people. Let's go, Cisco. Luke Gordon, King Lowski. Oh, my goodness gracious. Emily Robinator, Stripe Underwear, Jorman OPS, Mark Moose, Javid Mincer, Gator McLimpy, that's a government name, Gangrene David, The Flies, Mag Gertison, DME, Bob Cowan, Johnny Jung, Steven Lieberman, Mr. C, Laffy McDuck, Rand DeSantis, any relation to Ron, Andy Lett, Brian Zupati, Mason Johnston, Aaron Glenn for life. Wake up, Aaron Glenn. David Bailey's running the 40. You're going to draft him in 3 months. F1, F Sport BR, all receiving a gifted membership from the Cisco Lopez. Are you kidding me?
It's up to you, New York, New York.
Does anybody want to know anybody?
Asmaniacs, let's go Jets. Asmaniacs, off-season jam. Asmaniacs, ooh, gee, bitches. Asmaniacs, what's your superpower? Asmaniacs, we're built for this shit. Asmaniacs. Asmaniacs, let's go Jets. Asmaniacs, off-season jam. Asmaniacs, ooh, gee, bitches. Asmaniacs, what's your superpower? Asmaniacs, we're built for this shit.
No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Is this thing on? Testing. Are we back? Hell yeah, we're back. Cisco, you're the best, my friend. Got you down for 50. Again, we're doing 2 raffles today. One for the 5 weekly items, and then everyone who enters is in for a Wayne Corbett signed jersey. Let's go. Can you hear me? I see how it's funny. Anytime someone can't hear one another, everyone's got to do the Mad Max.
Can you hear me?
Appreciate everyone being here about 30 minutes into the show. Chris writes in, we haven't won a Super Bowl since this stupid chant. Chris, I saw your other comment too. I'm not quite understanding why you're anti the Jet chant. It's one of the few things we have. It's one of the most recognizable chants in sports. Other teams have copied it. The Ravens, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Jet chant is great. Everyone loves the Jet chant. Did you see the videos of the prospects who got picked by the Jets? I forget which one I was watching, but their family immediately started doing the Jet chant. It's synonymous with the franchise. Chris says, stupid chant already. Find the new one somewhere, somehow, 40 years already. Why would you ever want to get rid of the Jet chant? In fact, they've been doing a bad job at MetLife phasing out the chant, like playing dopey music instead of letting Fireman Ed and Hands and all the guys who do the chant do their thing. Dumb. Chris, I think you got to be a burner account. You can't be a real Jet fan to be anti the Jet chant. It's one of the few things we have. Again, what is more synonymous with the Jets than the Jet chant? Certainly not winning. It's Joe Namath and the Jet chant. It's Super Bowl III, Namath running off the field after guaranteeing a win, the iconic shot by NFL Films. That's included in any, historic football timeline. That's part of the history of the league. And it's this. Let's be real. Anyway. Jay Lepselter writes in, Kate Klubnik might turn out to be a pleasant surprise. Obviously, they see something. Yeah, again, they see something in all these guys or they wouldn't take them. That's not the point. The question is, did they need to trade up for him? I'm not anti-Kate Klubnik. Again, a year ago, Kate Klubnik was thought to be a top quarterback prospect going into the season. Field Yates listed him as the number 3 quarterback prospect. There's talent. There's an upside. I'm good with giving Klubnik a real chance here. I don't want to bring in a number 2 quarterback. I don't see the point. I want Klubnik to play. If Geno goes down, we try it with Geno. And if it doesn't work with Geno Smith, my philosophy is we're taking a quarterback anyway. I want to know if I at least have maybe a viable backup in Kate Klubnik. Because again, if Kate Klubnik ends up being a viable backup, let's say he's just okay. You're still drafting a quarterback. All right, let's say he plays like Mike White, has a couple really good moments. Great. Have a cheap backup. Now, I will say this. Even if Kate Klubnik looks good at the end of the year, and they're going to draft the quarterback, obviously, depending on where they're picking and what actually ends up happening with the quarterback class, if it's as good as we think it will be. You never know, though, because as I'm about to show you guys, remember this? Week 1 of the college football season. Look at the top quarterbacks in the 2026 draft class. Arch Manning, number 1. Lenora Sellers, number 2. Kate Klubnik, number 3. Sam Levitt, number 9. Drew Aller, number 11. Garrett Nussmeier, number 16. And by the way, this is not just quarterback rankings. These are overall rankings. So these are the top 6 quarterbacks, but there are 6 QBs ranked in the top 16. This was supposed to be a great, not good, great, historic quarterback class. This year was supposed to be. Now we're saying that about next year. We don't know. So I say that to say that if they give Klubnik a chance and he's okay, you're still going to draft a quarterback. But the one thing I would add is they can't make the Zach Wilson mistake again and not have a veteran in that room who could help him. That veteran doesn't need to play, but it needs to be someone who's been around the league a while. Remember the Jets paid $10 million to Josh McCown to mentor Sam? That's what they need to do. It was so bad for Zach Wilson that Joe Douglas had to acquire Joe Flacco in the middle of that season. They set up Zach to fail. Now, Zach sucked on his own, but they got to have a better quarterback room. But Klubnik could be a part of that room, just like Kellen Clemens was a part of the room as the number 2, and then Mark Brunell, if you remember, was also part of the room as the veteran mentor to help Sanchez. That's what they need. But we're clubbing for club, baby. Clubbing for Klubnik. Whatever the saying will be by the time he plays. Because you know that's coming. Forbin in the Asmaniac raffle today for 5. Forbin, thanks so much for your support. You are the man. Hit the Jet chant for Forbin. Love it. All right, I'm going to get to your calls coming up. Thanks to everyone for being here. Derek, the Kansas Jet fan, I see you, my friend. And by the way, Derek, your signed Curtis Martin helmet, I think it's also signed by Chad Pennington. I got an email as the show was started. It arrived, so you will have that to showcased during your next call.
Good job.
Let's see. Man with a rake writes in, Sadiq the Freak, 4'3" at 245 pounds is nasty. He's awesome, man. I was texting with someone with the Jets about the draft class in general, and the player that they couldn't wait to talk about was Sadiq. Quote, juiced up for Sadiq pick, going to be a weapon. Will open up a lot for Garrett and Mason. I think this person is right. And I didn't love the pick in real time, not because I didn't like the player. I didn't love the pick because I didn't like the Jets being the team to experiment with. Oh, we don't need a wide receiver too. We have the tight end. I don't trust our coaching. But I like the move in hindsight now because they got Omar Cooper, so I feel better about it overall. And I'm really excited to see the Jets, try and step into the 21st century of offense. Basketball Jones writes in club life. Club life to the next life. Lasso writes in, Klubnik's got potential. Hell yeah. He does. We'll see if it amounts to anything, but he certainly does. There's no doubt. Li Jets writes in, this is our guy Stefan. Is there any reason to trust Reich? Doubt he's here past 26. Well, I mean, look, I trust him to at least have guys prepared. I don't think the Jets will look out of sync as they were last year. Now, some of that's just Justin Fields is terrible. And it was never a good match with Engstrand as a first-time play caller trying to work with a quarterback who can't throw. When Engstrand had no experience designing an offense around a running game. Like if the Jets had Greg Roman last year, I'm not saying they would have been a good offense, but they would have been better. They would have at least been able to do something offensively at times. We had week 1 with Justin Fields. That was it. And I guess the Bengal game he played well, but I think that was more so because the Cincinnati Bengals defense is JV level. That's kind of how I view it. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line were presented by PrizePicks. Download that PrizePicks app. Use the code HMA, and you will get $50 in lineups when you put in $5. All right. NBA playoffs continuing tonight. Hockey playoffs are continuing. Yankees are in action tonight. They're out in Texas taking on the Rangers. Their winning streak was snapped yesterday. And I'll tell you what, I like Aaron Judge to hit a home run tonight. Facing Nathan Eovaldi. Judge hit a home run yesterday on his birthday. He now has 10 on the year. I like Judge to go deep. I'm going more on Aaron Judge hitting a home run. And I will go in this particular game. I'm going to go with a strikeout here for one of the Rangers players here. I'm going to say Josh Jung, one of their infielders. Actually, you know what? Let me get better odds for you guys right here. We're going to go on the K's here. Hitter strikeouts. We're going to go. Where is it? I had it. Oh, yeah. You guys will love this. Andrew McCutchen, at least 1K. So I'm just going to put $5 on it. You'll see what I'm about to do. This is 5 to win 20. A Judge home run, a McCutchen K, and you'll see what happens here when I do the full prize pick screen share. Again, you can follow along all my picks on the PrizePick app, but take a look for yourself. Here we go. And it is, where is it? It's on the screen. Boom. There it is. Hold on. Where am I? Where's the PrizePicks? There it is. Where's my screen share? What is this? What is this sorcery? There we go. No. Hold on. This is malfunctioning here. Live broadcasting. There we go. Here's the full lineup. Again, just put it together now. Judge hitting a home run. Better odds on it. And then you'll see McCutchen a strikeout. $5 power play. $5 to win $20. Make your own picks. Have some fun. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring our show. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Are we ready for some calls? First up today is a man who was one of the unsung heroes of this past weekend's draft coverage down in Pittsburgh. His hometown is in Pittsburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominic D'Angelo starts it off. Hello, Dom.
What's up, Jake? How are you, man?
What's up, dude? Hey, do you have the show on in the background? There's an echo.
Oh, I know what's up. I did my other podcast. Boom. Is that better?
Boom. Yes, sir.
All right. The NFL called. They want to kick you out, Jake. You got to go.
Dude, way to fight with them to the bitter end, keeping our show on the air.
I put my Dukes up. What'd you think of Pittsburgh? Did you like it?
Pittsburgh's a really fun city, man. I wish we got to see more of it. Obviously, we were just kind of in that one area for the draft and the McFadden's event. But I mean, you couldn't ask for better weather when we were down there. It was awesome.
Oh, it was great. It was so great. Yeah. Overall, too, man, I'm really happy with the draft. Like, I really liked it. Like we were talking about, like, Sadiq at first, I was a little, I don't know about that. But once they made up with Omar Cooper, I was like, I'm all in for that. I think they just nailed a grand slam out of the park from when it comes to, like, just the bare assessment of it all. Who knows how all these guys are going to develop or what they're going to turn out to be. And, like, I was trying to factor that in, like, looking at the later rounds and, like, being impressed by some of the names and everything. But at the same time, too, being like, well, odds are they might not do a whole lot in the NFL. That's what it could boil down to. But I think overall, like, I think Muji and Glenn, they did a pretty good job at laying it all out and kind of covering all the bases. And I think I like Cade Klubnik, and I think at maybe maximum, he could be like a comparable backup, but who knows? Like I was saying, I sent that video to the socials group chat, and I watched some of that stuff, and I was like, well, there could be some potential for maybe more. Who knows? But ultimately, I want to get laid for Cade. I think that's all.
Laid for Cade. I like that. Laid for Cade is hilarious. But now, what was your reaction to me watching the draft? Like, what surprised you? Was I calm? Was I crazy? Very intense night for the Jets. What were your thoughts on the whole thing?
It was a super intense night. Because I was covering the press conference, and then when I got back is about when Cooper got traded up for, or when they traded up for Cooper. And we were both pumped for that one. And but then you went right into the live stream, and you were intense, man. I thought you covered a whole lot of the ground with it all, and I think you really showed a lot of the passion with it all. So my reaction to it was heck yeah, there's a lot of the people, we had Richie NY on the opposite side of us all, and then there's a couple other outlets overall, but they started all clearing out. But Jake, man, he stood with it. It was the lady was walking by, trying to get
the email said 1 a.m. All right, so we were not leaving. We still get an hour-long post-night recap show, which was great, by the way. Big thank you to everyone who tuned into that. But they were trying to throw us out 12:15. I'm like, hold on a second. It says 1 a.m. here. I'm not leaving.
I know. I showed them the email, and they were like, "Yeah, no, it's security thing. The security wants to." But yeah, dude, staying up. I think we stayed till basically 12:30 is when the show ended, and then I think got out of there by 1. I think it was. So I mean, yeah, they're not tossing us out.
It's just it needed to be done, man. It was a great time though. I thought you did great with all the behind the scenes stuff. You went to the media availability the day before with all the prospects. You got some great sound from Reese and Bailey and a bunch of guys that went very high on night one. So I thought it was a lot of fun, man.
I probably my few favorites were David Bailey to talk to. Arvell was great, I thought too as well. I loved talking to Ty Simpson. He was just so cordial and very engaging with people and everything like that. So it was a really, really neat experience. I liked Ruben Bain too. But it was neat to see, because I was more Arvell Reese camp too with you. I wanted him to get drafted, but like I said, it would not break me if they drafted Bailey, and it was totally fine. So
100%. And by the way, good job by you. Getting this photo of me and AG. It was awesome.
Oh man, I couldn't believe he came to McFadden's. It was great. He just popped in. He was like Norman Cheers. It was everybody started applauding when he walked in, and then he tried to kick a field goal, and it got blocked. That one got blocked.
Yeah, we hit it off. We didn't see eye to eye in year 1, but we're excited for Aaron Glenn in year 2 to see what he could do.
I tell you what he does well is he gives a good hug out.
Oh yeah, Aaron Glenn, expert at hugging.
Yeah, pro at hugging. I can't wait.
You know what he said to me? I don't know if you caught this. He goes, "Wow, this is just like my daily hugs from Woody Johnson."
Wow. I heard he was better. You were better than Woody. He actually he went over to me after.
I'm that means a lot. Thank you very much, Aaron.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. Can't wait till do some more media stuff with you. And it's been a good time, man. I have a lot of fun doing it. So
Dom, keep July 11th open. All right. We're planning the big Asmaniac event, and I'll have more details in the near future.
All right, man. I'll be ready to roll.
Let's go. Dom D'Angelo checking in, doing a great job behind the scenes for our stuff. He showed us around his hometown, Pittsburgh, over the weekend. Can I give a shout out to Ted Ruggiero? 10 gifted memberships for the community. Let's go.
Are you happy guy?
Oh my God, let's go.
Ted, you're the man. You're in the raffle for 10. Let me see if I can pull the names here. YouTube, please load. Here we go. AB Cell, Jen JT, Paul Rodriguez, EGOI, Josh Sorensen, Noah Berman, Mike Ferrero, MB34, Juice 473, and Kobayashi Maru, all receiving a gifted membership there from Ted Ruggiero. Let me shout out Rasta Dread. He's in the Asmaniac raffle for one. Thank you very much to Rasta. Johnny Danks check again. Super stoked to listen to you on ESPN tonight. Well, thank you, Johnny. 8:80 a.m., 7 to 9 is the time slot. I'm filling in for Dan Grassa, who is filling in for Rick DiPietro, so I will be in for that. And also, not announced yet, but if you're just a fan of mine, this is not an Asmaniac event, but I'm working with ESPN New York on hosting a watch party that's centered around the World Cup in, I think it's late June or whenever the U.S. is supposed to play. I'll have more details on that, but whenever the U.S. has one of its matches, I'll be hanging out at a bar in New York City doing a watch party for ESPN. I don't have the final details yet, so I can't say much more. But obviously, for anyone who is looking to do something fun around the World Cup, around Team USA, we'll have something cool for you in that department. The date for that is Friday, June 12th. So keep that date open if you're looking to do something fun in the New York City area. All right, let's get right back to your outstanding calls. I appreciate everyone for supporting the show. Let's say hello to Stefan, who's next today. What's up, Stefan?
Oh, crap.
Is it Stefan or Stefan? Stefan, all right.
Sorry, you got me mid-bite.
You want me to come back to you?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready now. How you doing? Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for calling me in.
I'm doing great, man. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so I guess I'll continue with the comment you called out before, trusting Frank Reich. I was a bit surprised with how much say he had in all of our picks. I guess this year in Stanford maybe gave him some extra scouting of a lot of the guys. But I was really surprised considering he's only been here for a few months.
Well, if you think about it, would you rather him have say on an offensive player or Aaron Glenn? Mr. I signed Justin Fields because he was tough to game plan against.
That's a very valid point.
You know, I'm not telling you Frank Reich is, Sean McVay, but he's been a successful play caller in the league before. He's been a head coach twice. He played the quarterback position. He's run offenses with two tight ends, right? You look at Selleck and who's the other tight end Philly had that was really good when he was the play caller there? Goddard, thank you. He had Antonio Gates when he was the Chargers OC. Frank Reich's been around. So I think that's how he has so much say because, again, he's the play caller and he's got a lot of gravitas, I think, in that room because, Aaron Glenn's first year was a mess and he fired Engstrand. So you got to put some of your faith in Reich, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. Like if that's Reich's guy, fine. I think you got to let the OC and the quarterback coach, Bill Musgrave, who's been around, kind of put together, their plan for what they want in the quarterback. And if Klubnik matches up with that, it makes sense that they got him.
That's definitely very fair. I got another question for you. So the Jets obviously waited till pick 188 to add an offensive lineman with Inez Cooper. It's like the more I look into him, I do like him. He has good size, some solid numbers. Big concern about his athleticism. But what do you think about the state of the Jets' interior offensive line? Because obviously we like Olu Fashanu, Armand Membo's the star. We really like Tittman, but then Josh Myers, we signed him to be a backup, and he got thrust into the starting role. Now he doesn't really have any competition for the spot. And Dylan Parham, well, he is solid. He's definitely far from great. Him and Tittman were both tied for second most allowed sacks last year. So I feel it's something that's not really talked about enough.
Well, I tell you what, I thought that they could have drafted a center. That's kind of why I didn't want them to make the trade up for Klubnik, because if they just stayed at 128, we'll never know if Spencer Hecht was the Kansas State center, right? Was on their board. Sam Hecht, yep. That was the guy that I wanted. I wanted Pregnon the day before, when he started the slide.
Yeah, can't believe how far he slid.
Yeah, me too. Just kind of shows you the consensus on these players was really all over the place. But I thought Cooper was a solid pick. The guy is big, strong, leader, played a lot, toughness, kind of fits what they need. Do they need a little more? I'm sure, but you couldn't fix everything in this draft. And I think the fact that they have Parham, they have Myers, they did bring back some of the guys that have been here. There's some continuity there with the same O-line coach. Yeah, I think the O-line, look, injuries change everything for any team, but I think they're in a decent spot offensive line-wise.
Yeah, it's definitely far from bad, especially once you have those two bookend tackles locked down. Just having one I believe Tittman's a lot better than, he did allow a lot of sacks, but we all blame Fields a lot more for that than Tittman. He did allow 5 the year before, which I was actually a bit surprised by, so it is something to watch, but I do like Tittman a lot, so I think between him, Parham, he's not great, but he's not the worst, so he'll still be very good. But yeah, definitely it was crazy seeing Pregnon slide 88. I think big thing for him was age.
100%. Now, were you a Bailey or a Reese guy? I forget.
I was undecided. I liked Reese, but honestly, I really liked Bailey. The numbers on him were great. Just the multiple years of performing at an elite level. Also, the big thing with Reese, actually wrote about with Jets X Factor. The big comparison with him is Micah Parsons. Actually, I wrote about it twice now. So first off, I compared them just stat by stat, PFF grade, production, pressure rate, alignment. While Reese has the edge on length and he played a bit more at the edge, Parsons was better, just hands down better. He had 90 PFF grades across the board. The only PFF grade Reese had over 80 was in a run defense. His pressure rate was higher. He was better in coverage. He was a better tackler. Like, Parsons was different. Reese is really, really good. I think he'll be a very good player in the NFL. I just don't know if he could transition to edge rusher like Parsons did. Meanwhile, Bailey, I think, was extremely underrated in the process, where he's hands down the best pass rusher in the country. He was still elite last year. He was pretty damn good the year before. He had the full repertoire. He has better size and length than Reese. And actually, the other day on the Bleacher Report draft show, Micah Parsons talking about said he had David Bailey as his number 2 player in the draft, while Reese was only 9th, because he really valued the production. And also he talked about how run defense could be developed in the NFL. You build strength in the NFL before you're young, you're fast, what you do, you become great at. They don't develop you into as well-rounded up a player. Well, in the NFL, it's a lot easier to build up strength. You get older. I think it'll really help him out. And also, he's only actually, 2 years and a month or two older than Reese, not 3 years like everyone tries to say.
Look, I think that Bailey is a totally reasonable pick. I would have went with Reese. The thing that I didn't want is that, this pick is made because, we're trying to save the coach's job. Like, that's dumb. Just come out and say, we think Bailey's the best football player. That's my only real gripe with it, but we'll see. I mean, they're going to be judged. Stephen, good call. I mean, Reese went to the Giants, so they're going to be compared. But the last time something similar happened, not quite the same thing, because this was truly, hey, Reese or Bailey at 2 for the Jets. There was a lot of discourse the year the Jets drafted Sauce. Well, they took Sauce at 4. What about Kayvon? Sauce versus Kayvon never really panned out that way. And it was a little different because the Jets then traded back into the first round that year after they took Garrett at 10 and they got Jermaine Johnson. So it was Jermaine versus Kayvon. And that never really was the same thing as you're comparing the number 5 pick to a guy who was drafted at the end of the first round. So this is a true, side-by-side comp here for these players. So it'll be interesting to see what that actually looks like. But as far as the beginning of the conversation around Reich, I mean, he has major say. He should. He's the offensive coordinator. I think that was part of the problem last year, right? Glenn wanted Fields, but was Engstrand on board with Fields? Was that his guy? Was he equipped to coach up Fields? The Jets tried to fit like a round peg in a square hole. I think the pieces of the roster fit a lot better this year. But the biggest thing is Geno Smith, man. I mean, again, if Geno Smith is competent, right, if he gives you league average quarterback play, they're not bad on paper. Again, look at the depth chart here, or just the notable players on offense. You're not bad. The 2 biggest takeaways, and I said this yesterday on our wrap-up show, that I have coming out of the draft class remain: this team is talented enough to properly evaluate Aaron Glenn. There's no excuse. He should be able to win 7 or 8 games or have this team dramatically improved in all aspects, coaching, player development, everything that they didn't do his first year. They're now equipped to be able to do it in his second year if he's going to get a third year and be allowed to oversee the 3 firsts that the Jets have. And the second biggest takeaway is the Jets are set up for a rookie quarterback in 2027. Now, obviously, if Geno Smith balls out and has this great year, you could keep him and then still draft the quarterback. Who knows? Or maybe Geno's the guy. I don't know. I'm not worried about that right now. I want the team to be in a good spot for whoever the quarterback might be a year from now. And I don't know how any Jet fan can look at what they've done this offseason and not feel like they now are. Things happen. Injuries happen. Guys just stink that we think are going to be good. I get all that. But I think this team is set up to be a nice spot for an actual young quarterback. Now, they got to get the coaching figured out. I don't know if Frank Reich's that guy. And if Glenn's not the guy, then Reich won't be here. But this team's equipped to handle the quarterback class for 2027. Now we got to hope that the quarterback class actually lives up to it, unlike this past year when you had all these guys that were supposed to be great that sucked, and no one even knew who Fernando Mendoza was, and he ends up being the first pick in the draft. And you have to hope the Jets are in position to get one of these guys. Now they can move up, but sometimes if a team is so desperate for a quarterback, if they're bad enough to be picking in the top 3 and the Jets win too many games, I don't care how many picks you offer, you might not be able to move up. But we'll see. There's so much that has to happen for that scenario. Right? There has to only be a couple of quarterbacks. The Jets actually have to be out of range to get one of them. You can't worry about this stuff now. I've seen some criticism from people. I'll do a separate rant on this because there's one guy I want to, in particular, call out. Where the Jets were essentially criticized for having too many good players. Like, oh, this team won't be the worst in the league now. What are they supposed to do? Just forfeit their picks? Like intentionally draft 7th round talent in the top 44. Like I actually saw someone that has a platform at a major media network criticize the Jets because they have too many good players now. Like they won't be the worst team in the league. Like what was Darren Muji supposed to do? Say, we're good. We're just not going to submit any picks. Like it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And I've heard a lot of dumb things, right? Like you see some of the people that call into the show. I mean, come on now. Speaking of calls, this guy always calls in with great points. He brings the intensity, he brings the energy, and he brings the gas.
Oh. Huh? See, there's a big difference between facts and fiction. Where's that? Is that schedule going to even be ready yet? Because we're waiting on it still. I'm still waiting on it.
See, we have the best calls on this show. Prison Mike is up next. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jake. Was that guy Dan Orlovsky who's made that comment that we may not be in the best position to get the Manning or whatever?
You're going to have to tune into a future Jake Asman show where I torch this person a new one.
I think we have to get past this trading up for the quarterback. We all don't agree with it, but it's 2 days later, so it is what it is. But listen, look at the numbers he put up in 2024. He put those numbers up for a reason, and if he would have came out in 2025, he would have been a first-round pick. Maybe he was hurt. Maybe Clemson wasn't as good in 2025. I'm not saying he's going to be a franchise quarterback, but you know what? Maybe they saw something. So I think we have to get past this whole thing with them. And as far as the draft, I got to tell you, compared to last year, would you say this draft is so much better than last year's draft?
I would say I feel way better about this draft than I did last year for sure. I mean, I liked the Membu pick and I understood the Taylor pick. I was like, okay, good pick. The value I understood with Azareye'h Thomas. And then after that, I thought the day 3 picks were terrible.
Well, I think last year when you heard Muji and Glenn talking compared to this year, and we had this conversation before, I think Muji has a lot more say than he did last year. And I think that was why this draft was better.
Well, if you heard him, he also talked about how they completely revamped their system of how they scout players and how they compile data and draft grades and form their board. So that's different.
Now, I would love to have a poll with all the Asmaniacs. What do you want to do? Do you want to have a season like last year and have our choice of quarterbacks, or do you want to win and hope we can get one? What would the Asmaniacs really want to do?
Well, what's win? Am I winning 9 or 10 games and ending the longest playoff drought in sports? And Aaron Glenn's going to win Coach of the Year, and I could say, "Man, I was wrong about you, Aaron. Thanks for being our guy." I'd rather that than the Jets just be the worst team in football again.
Right. And I got to tell you, these picks in the 4th and 5th, 6th rounds, like Frankie V said this morning, look how many people really, really make it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a crapshoot, But I have a question for you, Jake. This is funny, okay? If the Jets ever won a Super Bowl and you were watching the game and they were in the lead, 4 minutes left, and you knew they were going to win, would you be in any shape to do a post-game show if the Jets won the Super Bowl?
would I be in any shape to do a post-game show if the Jets won the Super Bowl? I'd love to find out.
That's that, and I gotta tell you, there's a lot of outrageous points to guys in the chat that aren't in blue or aren't in green. I say if you're gonna have to make a serious point, you have to subscribe to the Patreon and join it, and then we'll take you more seriously.
I love it. Hey, look, people should be on the Patreon. Only a couple days left, Michael, in the month of April. Get your name in the intro for the month of May. Also, I'm glad you brought that up because I had in my notes. I wanted to shout out Rolio Delgado, who became a member over the weekend. Also, Gang Greenblood signed up for the year. So, Gang Greenblood, if you're out there, you're in the raffle for the weekly raffle for 10 entries because you signed up for the year. And shout out to Edward Morales, who also signed up for our Patreon today. So, I appreciate everyone who's on the Patreon, including you, Prison Mike.
And the next thing we're looking forward to is I think May 13th for the schedule release.
Is that the
It's
date?
a Wednesday. Yeah, I think it's the 13th on a Wednesday.
I don't think they've announced it officially yet, but I'll do some digging.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's around the 12th or the 13th is what I heard of May.
Well, that's the next big date, for the Jets. There's no doubt.
All right, Jay guys, and have a nice afternoon, and I'll be listening to you tonight.
Prison Mike, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greats. We've had some outstanding callers so far here on the show. There's a question from Leon. When is the next Jets collective? I believe it will be tomorrow at 8. So we'll be on for the first half of a Nick playoff game. I will be, bleeping myself. But I will confirm that with Rich and BT. But we will likely have an episode tomorrow. So get ready. Speaking of the collective, Leon wrote, Samini reported the Jets' interest in Sadiq a few weeks back. He did. And then he said a few weeks later, he's like, I've heard Sadiq is not going to be there at 16. Well, he was. So the Jets then, I think, put the pick in immediately because they loved him. Like, they submitted that pick. Boom, that was their guy. They had him graded higher than any of the receivers. Also, Rich beat the beat again, predicting Bailey. He was the only one. All the local guys stuck with Reese. Rich said Bailey. Just like he was the only one to get sauce a couple of years ago. So Samini is very, very plugged in. Very good at reading tea leaves, talking to people. He knows. No one's batting 1,000, but Rich's info is always very good. That's why we have a great show, him and BT. Hey, shout out to Johnny. Did I read this tonight? He goes, super stoked to listen to you. If I didn't read it, Johnny, I appreciate it. Thank you. My mind is all over the place. Rasta Dread is in the raffle for one. I think I read this, but anyway, doesn't matter. Appreciate that. Let me get to more of your calls here before we wrap up the show. I do want to remind people as well, Asmaniac Madness returns tomorrow. All right. The tournament is back. We gave everyone the draft weekend off from the tournament, but we got the Final Four still to play. All right. We got a matchup tomorrow afternoon and a matchup Wednesday afternoon that will decide who will meet in the championship this Friday. Look at the schedule. We're down to 4. Chef Kevin and the big fella, Gary 3D Boxing, and Charles Gorman. Tomorrow, it's Big Fella and the Chef. Wednesday, it's Gary and the Gormanator. It is all on the line. The winners of each region have been established. And now someone has to cut down the nets in Asmaniac Madness. Does it get more dramatic than that? Are you hyped up for tomorrow's battle between Chef Kevin and the big fella? I know Chef Kevin is.
Big fella, I'm ready for you. I want the energy. I want the smoke. I'm cooking all the time. I'm the people's champ. I'm the one that's ready to take down either Gorman or Gary. I got my squad behind me. People's champ.
Let's go.
Good job.
And then Gary and Gorman, they meet at last Wednesday afternoon. So there's your look ahead at Asmaniac Madness. Going to get to more of your calls, but we need to take a very short break. And on the other side, that's right, calls galore, including a call from one of the members of Asmaniac Madness that is still remaining in the tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of that guy, I play you this.
Hey everyone. I'm sorry. This is a promotional video for my upcoming matchup against the Dream in Asmaniac Madness. And I would like for you guys to vote for me because one, I believe in achievement. People think I don't want to work, which is not true. I just had a bit of a nap not too long ago too, so that didn't help. Believed in achievement too.
Go look for a job. Do something.
I never consider myself a perfect person. I know I got some flaws to myself, but I do strive on being a good person. I'm being a better person. I know a lot of you guys were shocked when I somewhat announced my allegiance to the Colts last season.
This team is a disgrace.
An error on my part. You know, if you need help in a battle to the gates of hell and back, I'll be there for you.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause right now. Hold on.
And I truly never forget what good things people have done for me. I'm sorry, I just had to hold on. Oh, my bad, everybody. Asmaniacs is that, my fellow Asmaniacs is that. I really care for you guys. I truly do. I know a lot of you guys were upset with my quote-unquote abandonment of the Jets last season, but I never really abandoned the Jets. I know what I said, but I never really abandoned means you left and never came back.
Oh, that was a bad fart.
With that being said, I will never abandon you in your time with me, regardless what team I love. Because, you know, my parents taught me to always give back to my community. Parents always taught me to be respectful towards others.
Fuck you, Dave Berger.
Look at you.
Look at me. At least I don't have brain damage. You sure about that? This is what your parents produced.
And I think for the most part, I genuinely have tried my best to be a good, honest person as well as a respectful person as well. Right. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace out.
And Charles Gorman joins us now ahead of his matchup on Wednesday. Hello, Charles.
First of all, I want to say to all my friends and supporters, thank you so much, not just during this Asmaniac Madness tournament, but for me as a YouTuber and as a friend in real life. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And yes, I could say I was wrong for my decision to choose a different team during the Jet struggles last year. I'm honestly proud to admit that what I made was a big mistake. And I'm glad people are aware that I made a big mistake. That was a bad sign of weakness and judgment.
Well, I'll tell you what, Charles. People clearly have forgiven you because here you are in the Final Four against Gary 3D Football.
Gary 3D Boxing, yeah. Also, how was I'm sure you had a fun time in Pittsburgh, I'm sure. I'm sure the people treated you well in Pittsburgh.
The people did treat me well, yes.
You ran into Aaron Glenn at, McFadden's?
What's wrong with your internet, Charles? Why don't you try calling him from your laptop? Not, and he's gone. You see what happens when you call in from your phone there, Chuck? What are we doing? Yes, Aaron Glenn did stop by McFadden's, Charles. This is clearly a real photo. He was a great guy. Didn't punch me in the face. He's like, I get it. I would have fired myself. I go, really? He goes, yeah, dude, I felt awful how bad I was. Like, that guy that sits in the attic all day that calls your show could have done a better job. Yeah. Appreciate the honesty. More of your calls. Look, we couldn't hear from Charles, but perhaps we could hear from the Gormanators. Oh, hold on. I'm going to give Charles one last chance here. As I was saying that, he did call back in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Good job.
I thought the Jets had a very solid draft. My favorite pick in the draft is most likely Kenyon Sadiq. I really enjoyed watching his tape, his highlights, if you will. He reminds me a lot of Vernon Davis, who mostly played for the 49ers. And I do like the honest Cooper pick in this. I think it was the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken, or the 6th round.
6th round.
6th round, yeah, that giant moose of an offensive guard. There's a chance you could. Well, he's big. That's what I meant to say. Mooses are big.
Are mooses big?
Yes, they can be pretty big.
How big?
Like probably over 200, 300 pounds, maybe.
Really?
But
I'm just asking.
I mean, the one pick that I weirdly wasn't crazy about, even though I understood, was Cade Klubnik. Did I say his name right?
Cade Klubnik, yes. By the way, mooses are gigantic, Charles.
Someone said that to me in the chat.
What? That mooses are gigantic?
Yeah.
No, I confirmed it.
Oh.
Adult males are 840 to 1,500 pounds.
That's crazy.
You like chocolate mousse cake?
I like chocolate mousse, yes.
What about cake?
I like cake, yes.
Chocolate mousse cake or just cake, and then you like mousses that are covered in chocolate?
I like chocolate mousse cake.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
And for all my fellow supporters, don't forget to vote for me in Asmaniac Madness, and have a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why this man is a 1 seed. Charles Eugene M. Gorman.
You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. Please, some of it. Hey, Charles. Who is that lovely lady? Send it this way, Charles.
Outstanding. Jetstream 1989 in the raffle for 2. Whoever wants to look into the future and say the Jets will be good need to realize that that also means they could be enticing to a disgruntled QB, or they could draft the quarterback they like anyway. Yeah, I mean, if Joe Burrow is disgusted with Cincinnati a year from now, and the Jets are actually an attractive destination, we can entertain it. We can entertain it. What if it doesn't go well for Dak in Dallas or whoever the next quarterback is that could be on the move? It's a conversation. I think the Jets' plan is to get their guy in the draft. I think most fans prefer that route. But what if the Jets are in a spot where a year from now, Gino's okay, we think the team is pretty good, but they're not in a spot where they could get one of the top quarterbacks. It's like this year where it's just Fernando and then you don't know. And then you might have to trade for a veteran. Is Glenn still the coach at that point? He's going to need to win. Is there a new coach coming in? Like there's just too many unknowns. You got to see how the year plays out. Because honestly, no Jet fan, I don't care how negative you are, no Jet fan thought Aaron Glenn's first year was going to be as bad as it was. No one that covers the team regularly, fans, even the most negative fans, thought they were going to win 3 games and look like the worst team in football for most of the year, which they were. They were worse than the Raiders. Strength of schedule, be damned. The Jets were a worse football team than the Raiders. All right, the Raiders started Geno Smith for the vast majority of their games. The Jets started Justin Fields, an injured Tyrod, and Brady Cook. All right, the Jets' point differential was way worse. That's really what it should be, by the way. Strength of schedule percentage points is nonsense, but I digress. Anyway, we heard from Charles Gorman. Let's hear from Charles' opponent in this Wednesday's showdown.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
It's quite extraordinary.
Quite extraordinary.
You know, women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
I thought you were gonna let me on with Charles. I wanted to scrap him. I wanted to rumble with Charles. No go?
He logged off too quick before I got the chance to do it.
Yeah, I see. He didn't want any smoke. He knew I was in the back. He didn't want that smoke. I get it. But like you play his mixtape, like his highlights, and they're cool. He's got good highlights, right? But it's like saying Chris Ivory has good highlights, and he does. And then you play my highlights, and it's like Barry Sanders, like, God dang, I've never seen anything like this before. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got cool highlights. I've got highlights that change your life, right? Like, he's got Tim Bradley highlights. I have Manny Pacquiao highlights, like crazy knockout highlights. It's different. You know, it's different. And I just want to put this out there. Do you know what year I moved to Texas?
I don't.
1994. The Cowboys were in the midst of one of the great runs in the history of football. They were one of the best teams in the history of football. The Jets were the worst team in football. I could have easily jumped ship. It would have been logical. It would have been smart for me to jump ship. but loyalty is in my Sicilian blood. So I never even thought about jumping ship on the Jets. The Jets went 6-10 that year, and then it was the 1-53-13 seasons. That was while the Cowboys are in a generational run, one of the all-time best runs in football. That's when I moved to Texas. I stuck with the Jets. I want everyone to remember that. Just remember that, right? Like, there's a lot of loyalty there. I could easily be a Cowboys fan douchebag who I hate. I could easily be one of those people, but I didn't do that. I stayed loyal to the Jets.
You don't leave your team. It's a no-brainer.
Ever, under any circumstance, you stick with your team. Always. Always.
Again, if I was Charles Gorman, my spin on that would be the second he, quote-unquote, left the Jets and became a Colts fan, the Colts became the worst team in football the rest of the way, helping the Jets pick Kenyon Sadiq now at 16.
I told you, my neighbor who's from Indiana, who's a huge Colts fan, thought they were going to win the Super Bowl when they got Sauce Gardner. Like,
that pick was 32 when the Jets made the deal. The day of the trade deadline, that pick at the time, obviously things changed, but it was 32nd.
Boy, does he hate Charles Gorman. He really believes that Charles Gorman, one of my Jet fans, cursed his franchise. He really believes that. Maybe he's right. I don't know. The day I told him that, he's like, I hate your friend. I don't want your cursed franchise coming near my team. And then they finished 1-8. So shout out to Gorman. I mean, actually, I guess that jinx actually helped us, right? We ended up getting Kenyon Sadiq out of that. So I guess
Mike thinks you're making up this story to look better as a Jet fan.
What story?
The story you just told about your neighbor.
I could bring him in. His name is Dustin. He's air traffic controller. He's a good dude. He lives next door to the guy that I watch every Longhorns game with.
If you're bringing in a guest, could it be your nanny again?
She's gone for, I think, 2 more weeks. She's gone. It's getting close, though. But she's going to be in and out all summer.
You might need her on Wednesday.
Maybe. And by the way, Kev's my guy. He's getting a little arrogant there. He's already talking about beating me or Gorman in his video. You got a big fella in front of you. Aren't you worried about that? You're talking about beating me or Gorman in the finals? What about the man in front of you? That's a big roadblock. That's a big roadblock in a way.
Remember when you and Big Fella got into that fight a couple of years back over these
guys? Yeah, I think he still. I didn't mean anything by it. I mean, I didn't mean by it. I didn't mean to piss him off. He's like 6'4", 280 or something like that. He's wearing an extra large. I mean, it seems like a 2X. Maybe that's a big fella. Maybe a 3X. That's a big dude. It's 100 pounds bigger than me, Jake. That's a big guy. Is it not?
He is a very big dude, but you offended him with assuming his T-shirt size wasn't that of what, an XL?
He said an XL. I kind of rolled my eyes. He's got to be at least a 2X. That's a big fella. That's a big guy. Like
he's quite big.
Yeah. Would it offend you if I guessed your T-shirt size wrong? Like I was a girl and I guessed your dress size wrong. But like I feel like, why would that offend you? You know, if I said Jake wears a large and you said I wear a medium, would that offend you? Okay. Would that? I mean, I don't know why that would have. Is that what you're referring to though? That incident, the T-shirt incident?
Yeah. Well, I don't think you believed him. That's why he was annoyed that you were questioning him.
Okay. Were you a little skeptical when he said he was an extra large? A little skeptical.
No, I believe in the big fella. Hold on. I'm going to try and see if I can find the clip here or study the tape with you. Hold on. No, I trust the big fella. I have no reason not to. Man says he's an XL. He's an XL.
All right. I'll believe him. If he's an XL when he was in high school, maybe that's what he meant. I don't know. I don't want to get into the whole thing with the big fella over that. But and I just saw a big fella's tweet. So I'm 5'11", 180 pounds, and I wear a large. And you're telling me he's got me by 100 pounds, and he only wears an extra large?
Gary, why the fuck what do you care about what the fuck I'm wearing, bro?
I'm a man of logic and reason. I'm 5'11", 180. I wear a large. You're 6'5".
Why does this guy care about what I'm wearing? It makes no sense. Why do you care?
You don't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm and someone says something like suspicious to Larry to kind of give him that look like, okay.
How is this suspicious, bro? What are you talking about?
6'4", 280. That's a big fella.
Dude, if I wore a 2X, it would be baggy on me because my body is different. Okay, not everybody's built the same.
I understand, but if you're 6'4", 280, that ain't all in your legs, bro. 6'4", 280 is a big boy.
I don't know why you give a shit what I look like. Is you got me a little upset right now, man.
I don't know. I didn't mean to get you upset, big fella.
Gary, why do you make fun of Big Fella and his shirt? Maybe you're a weird person, a weird guy. A wiggle, beagle, beagle, deagle, deagle, beagle, deagle, deagle.
I never claim to be not a weird guy. I don't even, if people say that you're weird, I don't even take that as an insult. I think that's like complimentary almost. Like, that's fine. It's like saying that your hair is dark. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm a weird guy. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I didn't really have a whole lot of football takes right now. I saw Charles called in, so I wanted to rumble with him, and then he dropped off because he ducked smoke, I guess. Charles, he's not back there. He's off for good.
Charles is not on there. I don't think he's ducking you though. Your matchup is not till 2 days from now.
You said that you were going to bring me on, and then he ended his call abruptly and stormed off. I'm just saying.
His call dropped initially, and I was like, let me go to you because you happen to be on so we could promote the matchup. And then he called back in as I was about to go to you. And then before I could put you two together, like we got the big fella and Chef Kevin doing a face-off over the weekend. That's kind of what happened.
All right. I think he's ducking smoke. That's my take on it, is that he doesn't want the smoke. He knows that he's got a checkered past, right? Which is why I would never run for office, because when you run for office, they do a background check on you, a deep background check on you, and I don't need everything coming up from my past. I feel like
would you say you don't have a checkered past though?
I've done things I shouldn't have done. I'll leave it at that. I've done a lot of things I wish I hadn't done. Things that it's like one of those things. Would I undo them? I don't know, because everything you've done in your life is what led to you being right there, and I like where I am right now. So I don't know if I would have done them differently. I don't know. I shouldn't have done them. They were wrong. But would I do it differently? Then maybe I wouldn't be sitting right here. I don't know. It's like that's a really complex question. Would you change things, Jake? Like if you could do it over again, are there things that you would change, knowing that they may end in different results and you might not be sitting right there?
Well, is it fair to say I know at least one thing that you would definitely change?
Did somebody say Brock Bowers?
Yeah, no, I would have picked them, but I don't get to be the Jets GM. I would have done a better job than whoever passed on Joe Douglas. That GM sucked. I would have done a better job than him. Couldn't possibly have done any worse.
Do you like the Sadiq pick?
I'm all right with it. He's a freak, right? He's a freak. I would have taken Lemon. I really like Lemon. Lemon's got stupid hands, like Beckham hands. I wanted Lemon. I thought Lemon's probably the best receiver in the draft, but I ain't going to be mad about Sadiq. I'm not mad about Bailey. I just would have took Reese. I'm not mad about Sadiq. I just would have taken Lemon. And I wouldn't have traded up for Cooper. I would have just took Bentley at 33. But none of the picks are egregious. Like none of them are inappropriate. It's not what I would have done. If it were me, we would have had, what is this? Oh.
Big fella says, check your store sales, Jake. The only shirt I bought from you was an XL. This is so ridiculous. I did check it years ago.
Perhaps. And whoever you got that for, whoever you got that shirt in extra large said thank you. That was a nice gift.
The big fella is a proud extra large wearing human.
I don't know why, big fella. Why does it upset you? It's like I told a girl I thought she was an 8 when she's a 6 or whatever. Like why is it like why does that upset you? If you guessed my t-shirt size wrong, I really wouldn't care. Like why does that upset you?
Mike wants to know why you're so obsessed with all men's bodies on the show.
Mike's obsessed with me. I didn't mention him. Mike's obsessed with me. How many times has Mike commented about me in the chat? Like, I've never commented about him. I don't think. Maybe once, right? After 100 of his comments. He comments on me all the time. If you got something to say, why don't you just call in? You're obviously not doing anything because you're commenting over and over and over again. Call in and let's have at it.
Big fella says he's not upset. He just finds it ridiculous.
I think that's fair. I mean, it's a little bit ridiculous, but like, I don't know. What do you want to talk about, big fellow? What's a better topic to discuss?
Zach writes, and if Gary's loyalty to science was as complete as his loyalty to the Jets, he'd believe in the moon landing.
I don't understand what that has to do with loyalty to science, right? Like, I posted videos all the time. It's like that little tin can. So you think that thing went 25,000 miles an hour in negative 400-degree weather and landed on the moon? It's like, you actually think that? There's no one that thinks that. Like, that is clearly fake. Like, there's no one being adult who thinks who looked into it and think that actually happened. It's impossible. It's too stupid.
I know someone who believes it.
They never
People
thought
who believe in achievement. Dave Briga.
Is Briga on the line? Is that what we're doing?
He's not. No.
I
I'm just
thought,
saying.
had you ever actually gone back and looked at the photographs? So Nixon called the moon from a landline. Nixon picked up the phone and called the moon. And somehow they got all the pictures back the next day so that every major newspaper could have the moon landing pictures on the moon, on the front page. Like, how did any of these things happen? And then we saw them blast off, right? Okay. How did they get back? How did they blast off the moon? They just fluttered up and then somehow picked up 25,000 mile per hour speed and came back in that little soda can. It's so stupid. And then who took the pictures of them leaving? Did they left somebody behind? I thought they left somebody behind.
Hold on a second. Repeat that. Did you just say someone blast off?
My bad, everybody.
Hello, Charles.
Hello.
There he is.
I'm looking forward to our matchup Wednesday, Gary. That's all I can say.
I'm looking forward to it too, Chuck. Best of luck to you. Congratulations on getting this far.
Thank you.
Good job on that, man. Looking forward to it. I just it's concerning to me that you did jump ship like that. I put a little link in there for you to watch, Jake, on the moon landing on Apollo 17. Just look at that thing and tell me you think that's real. If that thing went to the moon and came back,
Hey, no,
tell me that.
You scared away Chuck. I wanted you guys to talk. Enough of the moon landing.
I put a link in there for you. Watch that link at your leisure, and then tell me you think that's real. That's on the moon, and that thing.
I'm not going to do the clapping seal part.
What do you mean?
I do want to, but I'm not going to do it because Gator's going to use it out of context, and then it's going to go viral, and then I'm going to have to look at it forever.
All right. Thank you, Gary. We'll look forward to you and Gorman coming up. All right. I can't stay on for a 2.5-hour show here. So we got about 30 minutes left in our program. I got radio tonight to prepare for. Appreciate all the super chats. Make sure you get in the raffle. I got a lot time for the raffle because it's 6 signed Jet items. You will not find a show that gives away more than we do to the audience because you guys make it possible. Joe Namath sign helmet, Nick Mangold sign helmet, Darrell Rivas sign helmet, Garrett Wilson sign helmet, Mason Taylor sign helmet. Those are the weekly prizes. We'll do that first. And then for anyone who enters before the end of the show, you're in a separate raffle for a signed Wayne Chrebet jersey. Think about that. Think about that. Today's Jake Asman show is presented in part by Cheers. If you don't know what Cheers is, it's pretty simple. If you go out and you're having a good time, couple drinks in you, but then you know you're going to wake up the next morning and not feel too good, Cheers is here to help you feel a lot better the next day. Cheers is a pill you take after drinking that helps your body handle alcohol better so you don't feel as sluggish that very next day. It's simple, no powders, no mixing. It's literally just a pill, a capsule. You take it when you come back after your night out, and when you're done drinking, you take some Cheers. Next morning, you wake up, you feel a lot better. It's that simple. I've used it. I actually know the guys who put together this company for my days down in Houston. They're a Houston-based company. Now they're big national brand, but I knew them when they were just a local business. They used to do some advertising on ESPN Houston. Cheers is great. I've been using the product since at least 2019, so glad that we got them on board here as a sponsor. If you want to enjoy nights without paying for it the next morning, give Cheers a shot. Use my promo code Asman. You'll save 20%. Go to cheershealth.com. That's cheershealth.com. Use the promo code Asman for a 20% discount. Shout out to Cheers for sponsoring our show. More of your calls right now. A lot to cover. NY Jets. Florida Ted is on the line. Ted, welcome back to the show. Where have you been?
I've been around, Jake. I've been around in the chat. Trying to kind of let things play out as they are. Just don't want to oversaturate myself too much. I love the draft, by the way. I agree with you finally on Aaron Glenn. Let's basically, this is the year for him, do or die. So at least he has his guys he can ride or die with. But I was looking in 27, and you almost hit on my point about 5 minutes ago. Baker Mayfield's a free agent next year. So I know he had a bit of a down year last year. Abuka was hurt. I know that living in Tampa. Mike Evans was hurt. He had a few offensive line issues. But being that we have the money that we have, and if I think where we're going to be is a 7+ win team. maybe we make a run at him. You wouldn't cost you any draft picks.
He's certainly possible. I mean, if they blow it up there and start over, I think Tampa's going to be decent again. Though the division's not great, they still have weapons. They still have a good defense. I thought getting Bain at 15 was a steal. So I don't think they're going to be awful. But again, like it's in all these things are conversations that the Jets will be a part of. I think the easiest path is for the Jets to just draft someone, but we don't know what the class next year will look like. I think it will be better. I think we'll have more than one quarterback go in the first round. I know Simpson went at 13, but that's unique. He went to McVay. He's sitting for 2 years. Like we have one quarterback that was picked in the first round this year that's actually going to play as a rookie. I think we'll have more than just one option available next year. But we don't know. We got to see how it all plays out.
Exactly. We could be. So I mean, I'm not a fan of moving up with 2 or 3 draft picks to move up in the top 5. If we're somewhere in the 15 range, I'd rather make a run at another quarterback and then draft whoever we feel could be the number 1. And then at least we can be like the Ravens or some other competent team where we just keep adding great players and we have our quarterback situation at least temporarily for 4 to 5 years. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, we got to see how it plays out. I mean, obviously, the best case is Geno's great. You bring him back. Maybe you draft someone that can actually sit behind Geno, or Klubnik flashes potential behind Geno. I don't know. Like, there's a million things that could happen here. But gun to my head, my prediction for 2027 is the Jets' week 1 starting quarterback, or the guy who's going to start most of the season, is playing college football in 2026.
I understand, Jake. That's about all I got. I love the draft. Looking forward to coming up for some games this year. So maybe even make a road game. So that's about all I got, Jake. Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Come on, we need you at the next Asmaniac Road meetup because you got the benefit of having it in your home city this past year when we were in Tampa.
That I did. I did make the draft in 1 year. So, but I definitely do. I would love to do the road one. Definitely.
Oh, you were at the draft party last year. That's right. Yeah, you came to the city for that. Yep.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it was Nate. That was an interesting day. I flew in the same day and I made the draft party the same night. It was a pretty long day, but it was great. Amazing.
Love it.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
Ted, you're the man. Great call. Next year, we might do the draft party in DC, or we'll do it in Manhattan like we did 2 years ago. We're doing something, though. It's going to arguably be the biggest draft ever for the Jets, especially if it's new coach, quarterback going high, and 2 additional ones. And the Jets will be the first team ever to have 3 first-round picks if they use all 3 of their first-round picks in 27 and back-to-back drafts. Think about that. No team has ever had 6 first-rounders over 2 drafts. Now, Muji could trade out and recoup picks and maybe or get a 1 next year. Like, he could be really smart. But let's say they use all 3 ones. 6 first-round players over 2 years. The Jets should be thinking in terms of, can we get 8 impactful players over these 2 drafts? Bailey, Sadiq, Cooper, Pons, 3 next year in the first round, and then a second rounder as well. And look, they might have to use some of that collateral to move up. And if that's the case, so be it. You're nothing without a quarterback in this league. But that's at least the thought process for where the Jets are at right now. There is light at the end of the tunnel, people. We'll find out about the coach, but we will certainly have a better idea on where this team is at soon.
Do I officially get my intro back now that Ty is going to the Rams?
The intro is only yours, Kyle. You'll never see the Ty Simpson intro again.
Awesome. I couldn't be happier. Maybe Gator could do something with Cade Klubnik. Like, Cade Klubnik, overdrafted, won't play a lot.
That's well done.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just thinking, like, Xavier Newman, none of his money is guaranteed. Like, if someone were to shake loose from that would be a clear upgraded center. you're only talking about $3.75 million with even with Myers after June 1st. I don't think that they're going to do anything with that, but it's possible. Here's something you're going to love. Since you said that you think that we should just roll with Klubnik as the number 2. Did you see what the Eagles did with the quarterback room?
Did I see what the Eagles did? Didn't they draft Cole Payton?
They did, and we had him in a couple of times, and they took him probably at value. It was right around 178, and they have 4 guys on the roster now. Andy Dalton's on the roster. They have Tanner McKee on the roster. I'd be interested to see who shakes out there. Would that be someone who, in the right situation would make sense for us? Because there's some quality backups there, right? Like whatever you think about Tanner McKee, talk about your dart throws. That's that, right? If you want a competent backup, we know that Andy Dalton can be that. And you have a traits guy like Cole Payton. Even if they were to practice squad him and we were to sign him and just carry him the entire year and just keep him on the roster to develop him, that's something that we could do, right? They have an embarrassment of riches. Their general manager is ridiculously good at what he does.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That's not a bad idea. I prefer Cade to be the number 2, but if they added like a veteran who's just there to help, fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's kind of overstated that what I said about Cade. I'm like you. It's the value for me, and seems like a good kid, and I think he'll be fine. Just a couple of ideas about and that are related to the show. You have 2 things coming up with the events, World Cup event, and you said there was going to be something to be announced in July.
Yeah, so the World Cup event, I don't have anything finalized for that. That's with ESPN New York. I'm just emceeing it for them, and I'm obviously going to invite every listener of mine, either on radio or right here on YouTube, to that. And then there'll be something that I'm working on in July. July 11th is the date, but we got to finalize everything. So I'm just telling people right now to keep that date open. It's a Saturday. It'll be during the day, and we're going to do an epic Jet fan related event. It will be in South Jersey. So that's all I can say right now.
Very good. If you didn't want to take the draft party on the road again, and you wanted to do something local, maybe a boat ride to watch the draft with some of the Asmaniacs. That's something.
Wow!
I'm just throwing some stuff out there.
I mean, next year in DC is just insane. I feel like we have to be there. We have to do a big party during the day. Everyone's gonna take off from work, come down. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, that's something that I might even consider because it's a quick hit on the train, and if you wanted to be back the next day, you could probably do it. But since we're
Beningo is going to join us. It's going to be in DC, so I'll tell him Big Don's going to stop by the draft party. He'll love it.
Very good. I just wanted to clean up some show business. We're kind of going to enter a lull here for a little bit, and I think we're all drafted out. But have a little bit of levity and a little bit of discussion about the show and the upcoming Asmaniac Madness, which is very exciting.
Who you got, Kyle? I mean, you obviously know how fierce of a competitor Chef Kevin could be. You met up with him in the Elite 8. Great back and forth between you two, and big fella is big fella. What do you think?
It's tough because big fella. I've met a couple of times. I have a very good relationship with him, and Chef Kev is really laying out for this, and it seems like he wants it. That's one of the things where I'll probably wait and vote till the end of the show. I can tell you I'm probably leaning big fella at this point, but I haven't made a firm decision on it. Between Charles and Gary, I mean, I think that PBM made a pretty good point. I think Charles needs it a little bit more. I think that would be something where it would be very beneficial for Charles, where I don't think Gary needs it. So I'll probably vote for Charles tomorrow.
Kyle, great call.
I'll talk to you soon.
It's interesting. Bonesy won last year. He hasn't paid for a meal in New York since. Charles Gorman, he could use some free meals, right? He doesn't have a job. Gary doesn't pay his taxes. So how does that factor in the equation of what people will do voting-wise? I don't know. I'm curious who Beast is going to vote for, because Beast has had beef with Gary and Charles Gorman. So let's check in with the man himself.
Does anybody want a nutty buddy?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I vote for neither.
You're not going to vote?
Nope. Like Vince McMahon once said, let them kill each other. Let them kill each other. Either way, let them kill each other.
What if you had to vote?
No chance. I wouldn't give Gary not even in the words of the one movie. I wouldn't give him a squirt of piss to save his own sorry ass after all the lying, cheating, chicken shit he's pulled out. That's why I already got some special detectives gonna be watching from all angles. Don't think I got some sneaky tricks up my sleeve. Always remember, when a Grand Marshal stands in charge and someone plays fraudulent, folks, somebody's gonna get him. You know what that means?
So it sounds like you'd vote Gorman if you had to.
Nope. I'm not voting for neither. Zero. Nothing. Nada. Zilch.
But you have to
Not even
exercise
two,
your
not
right
even
to
a
vote.
Tuesday.
That's your right as an American.
Hey, my right as American, I'd rather watch these two kill each other. That's the bottom line.
What if Gary could convince you to vote for him?
I don't think so. After what he did this past year, I don't trust the scummy little slime ball who cheats his way over a queen, cheats his way over an old man, thinks he can get away with first-hand degree murder and makes a fake 50 fraudulent fake accounts so he can get away with cheating. I don't think so. In the words of the great Roddy Ray Pfeiffer, I don't think so. Not today. Not in your lifetime, pal. You're going to have to get past me because if I'm Grand Marshal, he better realize who he's playing with.
Women need to vacuum and shouldn't be allowed to vote. Yeah, ladies,
I just want to say one thing to Mr. Clifton. What is this? Asmaniac tournament welfare? You're going to vote for him because he needs it better? What kind of socialist nonsense is that? Who's the better caller? Who brings you more entertaining? That's the call. That's the vote you make. Also, to defend Beast, your right to vote implies you have the right not to vote. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a right. It would be an obligation. But proceed, Beast.
What is this?
It's a question mark.
No, this is the Mario box.
Oh, cool.
Wait, Mario Bird.
Cool. All right, cool. All right, yeah. Sure. And Mushroom comes out?
And Mushroom gives you 1,000. On Super Mario Brothers 3, if you get a mushroom or a thing, you'll get 1,000. Same with the fire with the leaf. Going. As a matter of fact, who's wearing the Mario 3 shirt right here? This is an official Super Mario Brothers 3. Came in today. Looks great. And I will not be voting for neither of you because let's look at it this way. I've watched your dirty work. I know your tricks. I got all your tricks scouted out very easily. See, as Grand Marshal, I could scout you out like a book. It's like a chessboard. Here's you. You make the bad moves. I come in with my queen. Do you
know what the princess's name is? Do you know what the princess's name is?
Princess Toadstool. Don't think I don't
Princess
know.
Peach. Princess Peach.
Don't worry about it. I know. Hey,
Decker was Princess Peach for Halloween. We did a whole Super Mario theme. One of my boys was Mario, was Luigi, and Decker was Princess Peach.
You're talking to the man who
Princess
owned
Peach.
N64, Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, Atari, Sega 32X, Sega CD, the very first PlayStation. I am the rock of the world. Hey, I know goods when I see it, and I no way whoever made me is King Bowser. You're as retarded as a blind man on crack cocaine.
I'm retarded as a blind man on crack cocaine. That's interesting.
Why?
That's quite an image to try to muster up.
That's bullshit.
Retarded like a crackhead. Wait, what did you say? Say it again. It was
retarded like a moron on crack cocaine.
Who was blind, but he was also blind, correct?
Ding dong.
Yeah, so
And
blind.
Did anybody say
retard
something about
on
techno
crack.
Super Bowl?
That's quite a visual. That's quite a visual.
Hey, I'm the only old schooler who can do it all, my friend, little fella. Let me give this information for you. If you can't hang with the big boys, you're not in my league. Like example, Mad Max, look at him, fly. He's
Shout
like a
out to
fly.
Mad Max. Shout out Mad Max.
He got swiped. This guy swiped him like a fly. He was like
What
one
do you
of
guys'
those little
opinion
flies.
on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
You ever get those? Yeah, you're gonna be getting them soon. Those little. Yeah, you'll be getting them.
I don't really know.
You'll be getting
what
those
you're
flies.
talking
That's why
about.
you get bug spray and you'll.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you make multiple accounts and vote 50 times for Gary 3D Boxing.
Can't wait for the tournament to get back underway tomorrow. Big Fella and Chef Kev tomorrow. Wednesday afternoon, Gary and Gorman. Also, update on the Jets Collective. We're going to try and do an episode tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, so I don't have to be on during a Knicks game because I don't think anyone wants that. All right. You guys think I'm crazy when I do these post-game shows for the Jets. Now imagine have a team that's actually supposed to go to the finals this year.
Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go.
So I will confirm that tomorrow, but stay tuned for a live Jets Collective in between our first show with Sabo and a little wedding of the beak, if you will, with Joe Blewett in the afternoon. Joe has not had time to go through all the film on Kate Klubnik, so we're just going to pull up his 2024 film and go through the year that made him a top 3 quarterback in the draft going into the season. Like the Jets referenced 2024 is the reason why they drafted him. Muji said he was hurt in 25 and Clemson was a mess. So we're going to see what we saw in 2024. We'll do that tomorrow, among other draft pick evaluation. NY and Atlanta is in the raffle for one. All right, I have time for everyone who's on hold. I guarantee you'll get on. All right, but I'm counting all the raffle names. Again, this is truly the last chance to enter the biggest raffle we've ever done. For anyone during this show, you're in a raffle to win a Wayne Corbett jersey. Anyone who enters during this show will also have a chance to win a signed Mason Taylor helmet, signed Garrett Wilson helmet, signed Darrell Revis helmet, signed Nick Mangold helmet, and a signed Joe Namath helmet. It's great. It's magical. It's happening. And that's all coming up. So get your entries in.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
All right, home stretch of calls. Jay Quest is next. Hello, Jay Quest.
Jake, what's up, brother? How are you?
Jay Quest. What's up, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
You excited about the draft?
First thing I want to say actually is about David Bailey, right? The first thing I thought about was friggin' Tanky V, how excited he was. So to see the morning show and watch that film of him being super excited, that was pretty fucking cool, man. Shout out to Frankie getting that pick right, you know?
His reaction was epic. I love that. He was pumped. Uh-oh, Jay Quest, you get another call here? Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. We'll come back to you. If you call him from the phone, people, reminder to put it on Do Not Disturb. So if you get a call or a text, it doesn't zap you off the air. We'll come back to Jay Quest in a moment. We'll say hello to Philly Noodles in the meantime. What's up, Philly?
Yeah, what's good, man? What's going on? Real quick, I mean, I gotta say the analytics department, when they said they were going to revamp and they had picked up different analytic people right after the end of the season. Obviously, I feel like that played a hand into the draft. I think it was great strategy. Them redoing whatever they did and the board falling the way they did, and then moving up and around, doing what they had to do. That was great. And another thing we should all be, I guess, durably happy about, no matter what, is Pickens can't even, like, the Cowboys are losing Pickens in a sense where he's not even wanting to come in to sign a franchise tag. So Samini was funny when he asked Muji right after the draft. I think it was day 3 when he asked that question to him in the presser about Breece Hall negotiations again. And he
it was a good job by Rich because it could have been a story.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that Pickens hasn't signed it after he said he was, that tells me they maybe were trying to trade him on draft night and they couldn't get a deal done. I heard from someone that is very plugged into the Raiders when I was at the draft that the speculation was Max Crosby and a first was going to be dealt. It was George Pickens and a first was going to be dealt for Max Crosby draft night. Like, that was the big trade, and that's why Pickens was going to sign his tag. I don't know how true that was, but I heard that and I tweeted it out. Like, at what point tonight does that happen? Because I wanted to be on the he knew or whatever. Well, because I heard that from someone that's given me some good stuff over the years, but didn't happen, and now he's not signing his tag. So I wonder if that deal fell through or what the real story is.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a good lead. It feels like it was odd because supposedly, remember, the whole lead up was they may come up where they may come up, period, end of story for a defender. They need one bat. They want one bat. They want an edge. They want an edge or something. So them doing what they did in the draft, still picking up downs was great for them. But I mean, the fact that we were even able to get Brees to sign that, you know what I mean? It lays credence to the fact that they may be able to get something done, period, end of story. So, I mean, optimism is there. Period, end of story. And I don't know, man. We just keep it going. And listen, Mekhi Bridges, this is like the biggest downfall I've seen in Nick playoff run. Yeah, Mekhi Bridges. It's killing me, dude. Like, what happened, bro? You know what I mean?
Well, they still need him, man, because again, like a year ago, he won 2 games in Boston with great defense and big shots. Like he's a streaky player, man. This is what he is. I think he played a lot better in game 4. The key is Cat. Cat is such a mismatch for them in this series. And if they don't feature him the way that they did in game 4, then Mike Brown's got no clue. Like Cat was the best player on the floor by far in game 4. And they're better. The Knicks should be up 3-1 right now. They gave away game 2. Game 3 happened. All right. It's a long series. Look at the other series with Pistons and Orlando. Like they should be up 3-1 and they better win tomorrow night. That's all I'm going to say.
Period, end of story. You're right, man. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Jets. I hate to say it. Let's go Mets. I know you're a Yankee lover. It's all good. Let's go
Mets. I mean, they have they fired Mendoza when I've been on the air here? Because I got to go do a talk show on the Mets.
It should have been done. My God, my father. I can't even get off the phone with my father. If I ever had my father call the show, it would be a fucking nightmare. I wouldn't be able to get him off the channel if he talked about any sports.
I'll tell you what. The only way you fire Mendoza is if 1, you're going to go hire Alex Cora immediately, or 2, Stearns is gone with him because he's the reason why this team is a joke. I'm sorry. Like I didn't agree with most of the Mets offseason moves. I was on the record saying it. Met fans were killing me. Oh, I believe in Stearns. The core never won anything. I go, how is it Pete Alonso's fault that the Mets pitching was the worst in baseball a year ago? That Kodai Senga's gutless. Like it never made any sense to me. And Nimmo's been great. And Alonso's starting to hit apparently. So it's like, of course, like
I wanted Alonso to stay. I wanted Nimmo to stay. And I was in
run prevention. Great. They look great yesterday as Mark Vientos is throwing that ball into the outfield.
Hey, man. Have a good night tonight, dude.
Billy, I appreciate you, man. Good call. J-Quest, I sent you the link again if you're able to call back in. Super chat from Michael Levinson. Our guy Prison Mike, he's in the raffle for 4. He says, Jake, looking forward to Joe Blewett's film on the quarterback. I respect his film breakdown so we could see if his film was right and if it was injuries and the team around him that was the cause of his 2025 start. So Blewett's just doing 24. We'll do a separate episode on 25. You know, Joe is methodic in his breakdown, so he needs real time. He's a police officer, after all. So, you know, he does the film stuff as a side hustle. So we only have time for 24, he told me. I don't want to rush Joe Blewett. It's like Picasso painting. You know, you don't rush Picasso. So we'll do 2024 and get an idea what the Jets saw. That Muji referenced the fact that they were high on him in their summer scouting going into the year. And remember, quarterback is the only position you scout a year out. NFL GMs have said that. I've heard GMs say that. You scout out that position a year out if you don't have a quarterback. So they did summer scouting on all these guys last year, and they probably did it before the summer. They probably did it before the draft last year, right? They didn't draft Dart at 7. They didn't take a quarterback at all last year. So their thought process was, well, there would be a good class in 26. It didn't work out. Philly Noodles, who just called in, now is gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Philly. Jetstream checks in. If it happens for the summer meetup July 11th, I live in South Jersey, so if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. I will keep you posted. Let's just say if you saw what we did at McFadden's for our draft party, this will be bigger and better. Because the same people are involved in this one. Maybe Aaron Glenn will stop by that one as well. This was just sent to me. Apparently, Gary is going as Super Mario for his matchup against Gorman on Wednesday. What do you think of this, Beast?
Bullshit! There is no way that scuzzball's Mario. He looks like Captain Skaz-Ass is more like it. He's a Skaz-Ass.
Does this mean you're voting Gorman?
Hell no! I let them kill each other. Put them in the ring. Let them kill each other. Make it a fight. Make it a fair fight. I'll put the referee shirt on. I'll address the rules straight and simple. It's called,
Hey, who would win? Beast Bowser or Mario Gary?
he ain't no Mario. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm the real Mario because I've been using Mario since I was 8 years old. I've used it for every single video game that I played. Mario Kart, Mario World, even Mario Kart 64. I'm the man with Mario. And why? Mario is the man. He looks like Wario. Wario. W-A-I-R. Or W-A-R-I-O. Wario. What the hell is this?
This is from our draft party on Thursday.
No thanks. I'll pass on that. Anybody up for a Mario coin?
You don't want a milkshake with Aaron Glenn Beast?
No thanks. Until he's gonna have to earn my respect because last year he sank to the ground like the Titanic. He couldn't even.
We might need to get an updated dance video instead of 2025 protection champs. How about crush the 2026 draft? Yeah. Let's go. All right, a couple calls left here. J-Quest, the link I sent to you. Last chance for you. But how about this from Cisco Lopez? Are you kidding me, Cisco? If Cisco does not win a raffle prize today, he might never win. He might be cursed. Not that he hasn't won before, but another 10 spot of gifted memberships from Cisco. Let's go.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
Demson, Namisa, Titan, Dre D2, Drop Back Mark, Jet Set Go, Tommy Latz, Robbie Oak, DJ N, all receiving a gifted membership from Cisco Lopez. Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, home stretch of your calls. It's been a wild show. We still have the raffle, but we must squeeze in a little Cho session. Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
Big Cho.
Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in.
Big Cho.
I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles.
We're talking about Big Cho.
My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
I put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands early. Came home just chilling.
Big Cho.
Jake,
Big Cho.
what's going on with you? How was your trip?
Great trip. Great draft by the Jets.
Yeah, I'm sorry, couldn't make it. You have it in DC? You know, I'm from DC.
Well, you'll have to come next year if we do it in DC then.
Yeah, most definitely. I can stay with my sister.
You can stay with Nick Shine. He'll pick you up from the airport as well.
Nah, he'd be too busy taking care of Charles.
Big Cho.
Jake,
Joe,
you heard what I said?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Big Cho.
No comment?
I don't know what Nick Shine's plans are for April of 27.
Okay. Probably taking care of Charles.
Are you going to vote for Charles, Big Joe?
I don't think so, no.
You going to vote for Gary over Charles?
I haven't decided yet.
Well, if you're not going to vote for Charles and you're not going to vote for Gary, are you just not going to vote?
Not sure yet. I'm not a big fan of either one.
Really?
Not really, no.
How come?
Well, I told you about Gary. I mean, Gary's okay, but I really don't like his stuff that he talks about women. You know, I'm real big about that. I told you, I've said this repeatedly. A lot of the most influential people in my life are women, and I really don't like his takes on women. I just don't.
and I really don't respect Charles at all. So
You don't respect him as a human?
I don't. I mean, he left the Jets. Yeah, he's back, but he still left. You know, I mean, he wants to blame. He used the excuse about not taking his medications. Well, what about people that have killed people that are off their medications? They still have to get convicted. They don't get off the hook just because I didn't take my medicine, so it's okay to do that.
So if I'm following, you're comparing Charles Gorman leaving the Jets to root for the Colts to someone killing another person that's off their meds?
No, I'm just saying you can't. It's not apples and apples. It's apples and oranges. You can't just say, "Well, I'm not taking my medication, so I can do this, I can do that, I can do that" as an excuse. That's all I'm saying. I mean, when we battled, he had to go to theatrics to beat me. You know, he had to take his shirt off and dance around, you know, foolishly, in my opinion. And then he had to get somebody to take up for him. To get
Wouldn't you
votes.
say, though, Big Cho, that the fact that Charles Gorman was able to take off his shirt, do the Jet chant, makes him a real Jet fan, though?
Not necessarily, no.
Wouldn't you rather lose to the eventual Asmaniac Madness champion than not? Then it makes you look better?
I never think that way. I think whoever wins is gonna, you know, deserve it.
Do you think you got robbed against Gorman?
Nah. I just, you know, I mean, he did what he had to do to win, and, you know, he had a little help. You know, I didn't have anybody ranting and raving in my corner and this, that.
Well, isn't that part of it, though? People give endorsements of their candidates?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you think maybe you have to strategize and get people to endorse the Big Cho campaign next year?
Nah, not really.
So did Gorman do anything wrong then?
I didn't say he did anything wrong. I just said he had to. That's what he had to do to win. So I mean, you know.
But isn't the goal to win?
Sure. I mean, if that's the candidate you want to back, then you can back that candidate.
Don't you play to win the game? To quote a famous Jet coach.
Yeah, you play to win. So again, if you want to back that certain candidate, then you back that certain candidate.
As a coach, don't you try and put your team in the best positions to win games?
Yeah, of course, but we're not going to run around naked out on the basketball court.
But there's no rule against it.
But we still won't do it. We've got more class than that.
So you think Gorman was classless when he did this?
No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
No, he was just being him. He has to make up for his mistakes. I mean, you know.
Well, if he's just being him, isn't that what it's all about? Being yourself?
I mean, I guess.
Big Joe! So it sounds like you might just abstain from voting, Big Joe.
No, I mean, if you had to twist my arm, I'd probably vote for Gary.
Wow.
But
so
that
Gorman
doesn't
leaving the
mean that-
Jets, Big Joe, was a bigger deal to you than Gary saying that he doesn't think women should have the right to vote.
I know that's why it's kind of hard to vote. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to think about it because it is tough. I mean, again, you know, the women's stuff is pretty high on my radar, and Charles leaving the Jets even though he came back, he still left. So I mean, that's just my opinion.
Jets, Jets.
Well, Big Cho, thank you so much for calling in and providing your unique perspective.
Yeah, no problem. You asked me who I'd vote for.
Big Cho.
Jake.
We're talking about Big Cho.
Jake, you asked me who I'd vote for, correct?
I did.
So I was just giving you my perspective on it.
Big Cho.
I'm not going to root for somebody just because they beat me and make me look better.
We're talking about Big Cho.
But I'm hoping you decide to have the draft thing in DC.
Well, Big Cho, I'll let you know in about 10 months from now.
Yeah, that'll work. And then I know it's early, but are you going to be able to, I guess it depends on the schedule. When the schedule comes out in mid-May, will you be able to let us know when you're going to have the meetup? Because I want to book the same place that I had last year, and they fill it pretty quick because it had its own private room and own private bathroom with a walk-in shower, which is good for me with my disabilities with my back and all, being able to get into a tub. I can't really do that anymore. I have to get into a walk-in shower. So it's kind of hard to find places. There was almost non-existent in Pittsburgh. That's one of the reasons why I didn't come to the Pittsburgh one. I couldn't find any Airbnbs that had its own private bathroom with a walk-in shower.
Big Cho, as soon as I know, I will make sure you know, all right?
I appreciate that, man. I definitely want to come.
Well, I'll tell you what, Big Cho. After a line like that, you set me up perfectly.
Calm your freaky down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Cho, today's closer.
Asmaniacs roar. The best of the best. Who survives the test? Let's go, Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, the raffle is coming up shortly, but we're not starting the raffle until we acknowledge a 20 spot of gifted memberships from one of the leaders of the 4% female demographic, Mimosa, in for 20.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
It's raining channel memberships, baby. Here we go. 20 gifted memberships from Mimosa. She's in the raffle. 6 signed items up for grabs shortly here. Last chance to get in at the end of these names. God Phoenix, Mike Drop, Matt Mate, The U, Austin Dow, Snowman Multimedia, DMAX68, Anthony Sully, USA, Support Vet 45, Dean Paparella, Tom Ruck, Rex Roser, Arvell's Army, Timu Brady, GK 1500, The Kid Cavino, Sir Moist, Jarvis Smudge, Big Cho's Taint, Hoister Frankus, Ed Cray Cray 907, all receiving a gifted membership from the Mimosa.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
Let's go, Mimosa in the raffle. 20 entries. Hit the jet chant. Okay, folks, almost that time. I got to finish counting the names. Shout out to Gunjo, who's in for 2. Gunjo, I got you down. Hell yeah. By the way, I played it on the first show, but Jay Quest brought it up. Frankie V's reaction to the David Bailey pick from their draft party in Harrison Meadows. So good. I'll play it again as I'm finalizing these names here.
Yes! Yes, 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 yes. That's my guy. That's why they pay Muji the big bucks. That's the damn pick. Sorry, I'm going. That's the freaking pick, baby. Finally, the Jets are back. The Jets are back.
Kerry
The
Rhodes,
Jets are back.
talk to me. How are you feeling about David Bailey, defensive end from Texas
Let's
Tech?
go.
Went for the production. over
Finally.
the projection.
Finally.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think the David Bailey pick is a really good pick. I mean, obviously, Reese looks the part. We've seen that before. We know what looking the part
I don't care what
does.
they
It doesn't bring the value all the time to the field. But Bailey has a motor. He has actual moves on the outside that he's consistent with, and he has counters as well. So defensive coach like Aaron Glenn getting a guy like that in this mix, it's going to be a big deal.
Amazing. Ryan could not wait to get away from Frankie. Ryan was Arbell's Army. Frankie was a Bailey bro. Incredible. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for the Wheel of Champions to be spun? The guy who's going to help us spin the Wheel of Champions is on the line. They call him Beast Wario. Wario, how are you?
That's the wrong name. I'm not Wario. I'm Mario. And let me give a shout out. This is Sarge Slaughter. To all you maggots out there, are we ready for that Wheel of Champions? Bring me my wheel, maggots.
Ready.
Attention, all folks. Get ready for the ride. The Wheel of Champions is here. We are going to get a winner today. The Wayne Corbett jersey, signed jersey of him, is on the line. Are we ready to spin that wheel? And remember, maggots, once I spin this wheel, you're dismissed. Let's go to the wheel.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, yeah, baby. It's time. It is time. All right, we're going to do the weekly raffle prizes first. If you win, the only way you could get your prize is if you email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, your name, your address, so we know where to send your prize to, all right? That's for all these raffle prizes here. So we're going to do the 5 weekly ones first, and then we will re-add the names for anyone who entered during this show alone for the signed Wayne Corbett jersey. This will be the biggest raffle that we have ever done. So, first prize is a signed helmet by New York Jets tight end and second-round pick from last year, Mason Taylor. Then we'll give away a signed Garrett Wilson helmet, a signed Darrelle Revis helmet, a signed Nick Mangold helmet, and a signed Joe Namath helmet as our grand prize. All right. Pull up the Wheel of Champions, shall we? All the names are here. We're going to shuffle and shuffle some more. Good luck to everyone. All entries are officially cut off. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck. Our first winner is wow, the wheel is so slow because we've had more entries in this than ever. Here we go. Major Hootage is our first Asmaniac to win a prize. Major Poonage, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, that is prize number 1. That is a Mason Taylor signed helmet. Here we go for prize number 2. This will be a Garrett Wilson autographed helmet. Hopefully Omar Cooper Jr. has some first-round wide receiver success like Garrett obviously has had. Here we go. Wheel is back up on the screen. The winner of a G5 helmet is Mike Duramo. Congratulations to Mike. Gary might be his biggest arch nemesis, but that won't stop him from winning a prize. Mike's also the guy who's going to help us build the Asmaniac Madness trophy. This will be a part of it. Shout out to you, Mike. Well done. And you are our latest winner in a weekly raffle. Okay, next prize is a signed Darrelle Revis helmet. Let's go, baby. The GOAT. Here we go. Let's get all the names up. Shuffle the names again. Ladies and gentlemen, our next prize is the Revis helmet. Are you ready? We're ready. Here we go. The winner is Ted Ruggiero. Ted Ruggiero, congratulations. You are the winner of an autographed Darrelle Revis helmet. Hell yeah. All right, our next prize is a Nick Mangold signed helmet. The late, great Nick Mangold. Here we go. Get the Wheel of Champions up on the screen. We removed Ted's entries. We spin again. The winner is Sam Aiken. Sam, congratulations. I know you've been supporting the show a long time. Always appreciate your generosity with super chats. You are the winner of a Nick Mangold signed helmet, which means, folks, we got one last weekly prize. And of course, if we were going to do a mega raffle featuring jet prizes centered around draft weekend, we end with the granddaddy of them all. The Super Bowl III MVP, Broadway Joe. A signed helmet by Broadway Joe is up for grabs. Ladies and gentlemen, our final weekly raffle winner is Cole Young. Congratulations, Cole. You are the last weekly raffle winner. You did it. Let's go. Hit the jet chant for him. Cole, our final winner. Fireman Ed, where you at? All right, folks, we're not done just yet. We will have another spin of the wheel for everyone who entered specifically during this show. But again, our weekly raffle winners: Major Poonage, Mason Taylor helmet, Garrett Wilson signed helmet, Mike Durama, Revis signed helmet, Ted Ruggiero, Nick Mangold helmet, Sam Aiken, Joe Namath signed helmet, Cole Young. A Wayne Chrebet jersey will now be raffled away. Not just any Wayne Chrebet jersey, a jersey that is autographed by the legendary Ring of Honor New York Jet. I am just grabbing the names to repaste for everyone who entered in the raffle for this specific show. Stand by as we will get that for you, and then we will spin the Wheel of Champions one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, to help me respin the wheel, I have to head back out to the Global Studio headquarters, where the Master of Raffle ceremony will once again take us to the Wheel of Champions. Whenever you're ready, big guy. I got all day here.
You, sir.
Hey,
you.
We're on the air.
Beasley, you're a disgrace to
Oh God. You're gonna lose your raffle responsibilities. Biggest raffle in show history, and he's not even watching the show, folks. What a disgrace. Hello?
Yes?
I need to go back to the raffle wheel.
I hear you. I'm not. Come
You're
again?
not paying attention.
Yeah, I was just reading some stuff. Just getting
No, you're
reading.
not.
Yeah.
Send me to the wheel again.
Oh, you want something? Hey, bring me my wheel over here. Are we ready
It's
for that?
time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
I don't have time to wait, Spees. Come on now. All right. I got a radio show starting in 45 minutes. Here we go, folks. One last spin of the wheel for a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Everyone who entered during this show and this show only is in there, plus our first show. We combined the entries, of course, from both of them today. So everyone who was a part of the memberships or super chats today, you're in here. Good luck to everyone. But only one Asmaniac can win our final prize on today's show. If you win, same rules apply. Email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, your name and address. Here we go. The Wayne Corbett signed jersey goes to Bo C. Congratulations to Bo C. Let's go.
No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Bo knows. Congratulations to Bo C on winning the Asmaniac raffle, our final winner during today's show. Bo C. Bo knows all that. Look, when Bo does something good on this show, we play this.
Bo knows football. Bo knows baseball. Bo knows tennis. Bo knows basketball, too.
Bo knows channel memberships.
Hell yeah. Congratulations to Bo. Cisco, don't worry. You're not coming away empty-handed, my man. My God. What a performance by Cisco today. Cisco, check your email after the show. That does it for me. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Antoine Staley for joining us at the beginning of the show. 2 long shows today, as you would expect, as we had a lot to discuss following a successful New York Jets 2026 draft. We're back tomorrow. Sabo in the morning, Blew It in the afternoon. I can't wait for that, and I certainly can't wait to see what's going to happen when the Final Four for Asmaniac Madness officially gets underway. Until then, though, I leave you all with a short clip. Sit back and enjoy it. Like the video on your way out of here. And as always, let's go Jets. 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 Jets.
Tie at 16 or 30? No, give me Beast. I want to talk to Beast.
Buenas tardes there, El Drimo.
Let me see the ball.
My balls feel like they've been destroyed in pieces.
Beast, I've been waiting. Show me the ball.
I will get it's right there. Can you just I'm trying to get him cleaned up. Do I look like a retard to you or something? Oh.
Can you hear me?
It's not right that he's doing that shit. Beast, you gotta show him the gift that he got you, man.
Wow, look at this. Look at this.
There it is, man. That's an excellent gift. You say thank you? Beast, did you say thank you? That's a really awesome gift, bro. Don't salute, say thank you.
Thanks for the tip there, Mr. Dream. And Gary's a coward.
Okay.
Thank
all
you.
right, man.
That's all I wanted.
See this hat, everybody? Does it look like I really abandoned this team?
That's what I'm looking at right now. You can't see this hat. A colon shirt. What the hell?
Jets.
I am gonna get sick to my stomach looking at this. Wow.
Sorry, Beast.
This is regurgitating.
Sorry, I don't have a six-pack, Beast. I'm sorry.
You look like regurgitation. You want to see what a real man looks like? You want to see what a real man looks like? This is God, man. This is God. Look, this is a real God right here. A machine. 272 pounds, muscle and might. Destructive but constructive. Force right here. These biceps here. These are guns that'll rip throats from top to bottom, pillar to pillar, post to post, man to man, muscle to muscle, even all gun, baby. This is all guns. This ain't no bullshit. I'm sorry. Please, for the love of Jesus, whatever that, I'm sorry, you freak. No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.